Tale of 12 Gems, our original D&D campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening, and many others, and joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Alana, and Kara. Hannah is also with us tonight and will be joining us in a couple of minutes, and then Tina, still embarking on a crafting adventure well beyond the boundaries of most, and so another week until Tina is back with us at least. But we are going to be playing some D&D, and before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, last night we played our Starfinder 2E campaign, Skull Runners. Our crew of cyberpunk criminals chose a side in a gang war, and we'll be seeing very quickly whether or not it was the right one. You can see what that means when it re-airs at noon on YouTube at Alberon RPG, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have a website at Alberon RPG, alberonrpg.com. At Alberon RPG is our social media handle. AlberonRPG.com has a ton of information about the different games that we played, the different adventures, stories, the characters, all that over on that website. And thanks to the support of people like Talon and Crix and Gunner and all the other people who tune in, we have the capability of doing lots of cool things. And so we really appreciate the support. It makes the sort of elaborate way that we choose to play this game possible. And that is all the announcements that I have for this week, aside from the fact that, of course, we have Sirenscape and Monument Music and Matthew to thank for some of the sound that we have. And so it is time for this week's session of A Tale of 12 Gems.
His fear.
And to Kara for the recap.
Hi! Hello. Misfits. Get our name right. When last we met, we were assaulted by a stampede of
Aminals?
frightened, scared, witless Eminals. Tuli, thinking quickly, ever our animal negotiator, used speak with animals to hear them shout about the tide coming. Nora decided to keep us safe with a wall of web, which would have been great if there were trees, so that it could be a literal wall, but instead she made it carpet because there were no trees. It was an open, empty plain of mud. But it did stop a lot of animals, including a massive elephant. Ralph charmed the animals back to logic to get them to calm down a little bit and think about their life choices, which currently there was one: to run or not to run. Tonky desired a new mount and discovered a new life goal in maybe someday riding a giant elephant.
It's right there.
Grimgob chose violence, and indeed deciding that no, the tide is metaphorical. I shall go up forth and defend my friends and all goblindom.
Against the metaphorical tide.
Against the metaphorical tide, which indeed was a literal tide of mud. And as we all convinced our mounts that it is for the best that we turn and flee with the rest of the animals, Grimgob decided, nay, shalt I cast Firebolt into the tide itself and save us from this doom, only to realize that mud don't care about your feelings. Eventually, we make it to a rocky outcropping and survive the oncoming horde of mud. And through magical and mundane means, we are safe from a mud-filled sinkhole. A red tide surely would have been worse, which is perhaps an effect of Dirge Moon, yet another reason for us to complete the second objective of He Who Grows Through Grief's quest. Toad, Gem, Delta, Gobranja. While hiding from said flood, we've discovered the entrance to a cave. A goblin fort that was hidden in the sinkhole, and from which toads emerged. So clearly, we're on the right path. Good job, guys, we found the toads. And Thule decided, you know what, the best way to enter a cave is to say hello and stop harming the toads. To which the goblin said, fuck that shit, and immediately dropped the toads and fled down the stairs with their face, and then into a trap that they had set, and they are now deceased. And Thule's body count continues to rise.
Didn't do that at all. It was his own fault for getting spooked by someone saying, hey.
He stabbed his own self.
Ralph uses divine means to search out the traps awaiting us, and we skillfully evade them after Nora and Thule spend some time at the cave entrance freeing the toads. Because surely those are the toads we were meant to free. The regular ones. Eventually, however, we come upon a larger cave with multiple tunnels, and Tonky sees multiple goblins waiting in ambush for us, because our forte is not stealth. Because once you come across one goblin and multiple traps, surely no more could possibly want to hurt us. And then they fired a ballista at us, which Tonky took like a champ, because indeed, Tonky is now tanky, and with some extra assistance from Ralph's Sacred Shield and bonus commands and bolstering, Tonky does make quick work of the goblin battlefield, while Thule and Nora hang back and provide alternative assistance, which they are shocked and horrified by, because indeed some people are born to violence and some people grow into it. Eventually, however, we are victorious once more, and we find multiple paths, including a toady trapped tunnel. A trap that we trigger, as we realize not one of us is really set for picking locks and disarming traps, and we think about our life choices. And moral quandaries are had as we consider the realities of the fact that Grimgob's a goblin, and we're kind of, killing everyone we meet. And after triggering the trap and eventually, not so sneakily making our way down said tunnel, we discover that there are shape-changing goblin toad druids, maybe? I don't know. There's just a bunch of goblins that are also toads in the middle of a spawning pool, and surely we can talk our way out of this one. It's been so effective the last few encounters. And Misfits at this toad spawning pool, which may or may not just be a weird goblin encampment. This is where we begin our session.
Thank you. There is a commotion that erupts through the chamber as goblin voices cry out to search for intruders. With many of you speaking goblin, you can hear one of their voices rise above the other. In fact, as the goblin, who was a giant toad, again, just into their goblin form, they shout out and say in goblin, "Pair up and find them!" There is little motes of light that kind of throughout this cavern, illuminating off the kind of pools that are full of these toad eggs. You can see a number of goblins beginning to search this place. Around you, you are within the sort of upper reaches of the Underdark. There are places where in the ceiling you can still see mud and root, but all below you there is stone. You can see the cavernous expanse of this place just spreads out all around you. What are you doing?
Oh, well, apparently they're not toads, so can we run now? Can we just leave? Leaving, I think, is good. Can we leave?
We saw spawning pools, right?
You can see them in front of you. There are a few of them with these glistening frog-like eggs. You can see kind of... Make a perception check.
Okay.
I didn't realize goblins came from eggs.
Huh?
That delayed response. 13.
Maybe it's just the Meyer Club act?
I'm pretty sure those are the toad eggs. But yeah, we should leave.
With a 13,
I don't want to be found.
you can see that there are a number of goblins now beginning to search into the stalagmites and kind of make their way around the various elements of the kind of like layers of stone that form between these pools. There are cave tunnels and things that spread out from here, and so you could easily kind of choose one to run down. There are several that spread out from this place. There is cool air that wafts in from the tunnels that are off and to the west of where you are. Are you turning to run back the way that you came, or are you trying to find a place to seek shelter down here?
I would probably want to seek shelter down here.
You said a place to the west there was air coming out of.
Yes.
Is there another, like, offshoot of the tunnels within 30 feet of us?
Everybody but Ralph, make a perception check. Ralph.
Isn't that the Underdark tunnel?
Well, yeah.
Ralph is standing with their back to the tunnel,
natural
apparently.
20.
Yeah.
Oh,
Natural
that's
20.
great, because I did not roll a natural 20.
With a natural 20, Thule, not only do you see that there is 3 or 4 of these tunnels that you could go into, and you can see beyond them a huge cavernous space kind of expanding out and into the dark, a place where it would be very easy to become lost. But off and to your right, there is a seam in the stone that is sort of encrusted with mud. Here, there is kind of cobwebs that flow across, but you can see elements that are almost certainly masonry. And not masonry that is of goblin form. This is older. You can see edges of stone that seems to be perhaps like almost a whole different color. It gleams orange a little bit in some of the motes of light that now, as the goblins search for all of you and draw closer, begin to reflect off. A beautiful stone that makes up these bricks.
Is this Opera City ruins?
Make a history check.
As the goblins approach, Ralph's gonna be like, I'm gonna make a sound to try to distract them. And she'll look for like a spot that looks like it's down a tunnel within thaumaturgy's range.
Okay.
And essentially try to throw a sound of armor clanking down one of those tunnels.
Sure.
So.
Make a deception check.
Okay.
Tule. Natural 20?
23.
23. Tule, you have heard of, in this region in particular, ruins from an ancient civilization of Minotaur that once occupied this basin. And what you are looking at, these bricks of what is almost certainly jasper, this is one of the ancient ruins of Obra City.
So this area that I've seen, is it a crack that we could sneak into?
There has been mud kind of compounded up to almost block this path and keep it hidden. Based on the dust and the cobwebs pulled over, nobody has gone through this in some time. But this is very much a secret entrance to some ruins beyond.
Oh, follow me, quick.
14.
with a 14. You kind of turn. As you say this to everybody, you can hear the sound that Ralph makes maybe like 20 feet away from you. You kind of catch it on a stalagmite that echoes really immediately around you. You can hear the goblins, I heard something over there! And these kind of shouts and voices. Do you follow Thule?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I fit?
Yes. Tonky, for you, barely. You kind of jam yourself in, and Tonky, you push, and behind you, the wall itself kind of moves and grates against the stone. This is a massive stone door, sized for people like you. And you shift this a little bit and wedge yourself in.
I want to try to remember what the mud looked like so that I can cast Minor Illusion after everyone's gone in to make it look like it hasn't been disrupted.
Make an Arcana check as you cast that.
30-20.
Okay. Very easy for you to create essentially an illusionary mud wall where there was one before. You all kind of slip in with Tonky just shifting this whole space, causing a small kind of echo through this tall but relatively small room. And you create this illusion behind you. You can hear the shimmering of magic from your side. You don't see much, but you do see some goblins kind of rush over. Can all of you make a stealth check, please?
Ah, yes.
Why?
What got us into this mess?
I'm so glad.
Not bad.
I have disadvantage, but I got an 18 and a 20.
Damn.
It's a waste of a 20, but
I would not say that.
I also got a natural 20.
Hell
But
yeah.
unfortunately, I also have disadvantage. So a
no.
10,
10.
which is better than I thought it would
15.
be.
15.
18.
Okay.
Grimgob doesn't want to be found. Natural 20.
Hell yeah.
All the natural 20s! I'm so afraid.
You watch as a goblin kind of looks, and their whole face fills up this crack. Directly in front of you, Thule, you can see these eyes search. And in Goblin, he just says, "Bad place. You're not getting me today." And he turns and kind of trots away.
Nora is immediately just like, what is that?
You all kind of look around in the space that you were with them. Yeah.
Can I make a check? And do I get my thing to study the stonework?
Yes.
Not stone cutting.
This is almost like a cavern behind you
16.
that has had masonry stacked up, create a door frame that at one point had these large, almost arched doorways. And as you study this, there is infernal glyphs across them. There is the symbology that shows many reliefs of Minotaur. This is some of the runes, not just from the city of Obra, but the symbology has very, like, religious connotations. Grimgob, there's something that almost kind of grabs at your memory from this, but with that check, you're not quite sure what this figure might mean. The doors that are on the other side of this, it's kind of like a archway that has been built out of brick, the natural stone that forms the walls and cave, and then a huge pair of massive stone doors that blocks the way further beyond. Carved into this set of doors is a sprawling, intricate labyrinth, and dust has coated the various crevices and kind of made it a little harder to see. But at the center, still gleaming prominently, is a Minotaur warrior, nearly life-sized in these massive doors, probably about 4 feet tall. Its head is bowed, the horns are gilded in gold, though age has kind of flecked away little elements of it. You can see at the entrance to this labyrinth, kind of near the floor, there is a tiny silver figurine that stands almost like it is magnetized against this frame. And it looks almost like a Minotaur wearing a hooded robe carrying a lantern.
Oh, well, that's definitely cursed.
And above the door, in elegant infernal script, you can see, "The first pilgrim sought the horned king. Many roads were offered. Only one led to the truth. And it was a path less evident." You could see along the various routes of this, and it's huge. I mean, there are, when you think of like the sort of mazes on the back of your cereal box as a kid, circular, similar to that, but just huge. There are hundreds of paths through here, and along some of them you can see symbols carved in. You can see symbols for walls and little pike-wielding defenders. You can see marks that show treasure chests and tiny little markets. You can see little marks of warriors and hunters kind of wielding bows. All sorts of things dot this labyrinth. Yeah.
I get a thing for infernal symbology. Can I try and discern what those could potentially mean together?
Yes, you can.
You named a few figures as well. Do those mean anything?
Given your previous check, these are all figures that could be associated with
16.
people who existed within Ober City. You see minotaurs kind of repeated a lot. No icons or anything that stands out particularly.
I mean, the name you had said the in the inscription above the door.
What was the name of the first pilgrim?
The first pilgrim sought the
pilgrim.
Horned King.
Yeah, and the Horned
I would say
King.
that doesn't ring a bell for you.
Okay.
Just double checking what the modifier is.
You said that, so center of the maze, Minotaur, big maze around, and there's a silver figure that's magnetized to the bottom.
Almost by a magnet, but I would say for you in particular, Grimgob, no, not magnetized. It sticks by magic. You look at it and you can tell that it probably can be moved. You're not familiar with what the mechanism behind this is.
Is there only one entrance to the maze where he is now, or is it multiple entrances from the
Make
outside?
an investigation check.
I'm thinking that it's either I have to move him along the maze or put him at the entrance that leads to the middle. Investigation?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be an Arcana check around the symbology, and it's a dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, this infernal symbology is a very specific sort of dialect. It's ancient, and you've kind of heard your allies talk about Ober City, and that fits with what this is. But more specifically, this is a sort of... The markings of this, the Minotaurs themselves didn't have a central religion, or a pantheon, but they did have sort of very cherished, almost saint-like figures. And this strikes you as perhaps a sort of temple to one of those. The Lost Pilgrim. Whoever that might be, this seems to be maybe a shrine or a temple.
We might not want to go in there. That seems like a temple. And there's infernal writing around the edge, which generally doesn't mean it's a safe temple.
But I will say...
All those things you said make me want to go in there, though.
And Nora, I will say also, when you think about the goblins kind of coming up, did any of your allies translate for you what they said? Okay, Taki kind of just said, he said bad place.
Yeah.
It strikes you that if the goblins think that this is a bad place, it's probably dangerous, but also something that's dangerous for goblins may not necessarily be dangerous for you. A lot of it has to do with intent.
Oh no, that's 100% dangerous for us. I would much rather face goblins than, whatever that is.
Yeah, but if it's dangerous, it means there must be something
Is the
worth.
source of the suffering from this or from
Church moon, we've been told by the other guy.
You don't know, I will say. I will say, when you look at this door, it's hard to imagine that the doors themselves causing a terrible amount of suffering to anybody. Yeah. Maybe an interior decorator, because the doors themselves larger in proportion than most of the rest of the room.
I don't necessarily inherently feel heebie-jeebies from these ruins.
Yeah.
But the general vibe seems to be heebie-jeebies about it.
Seems to be pretty split.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Heebie-jeebies.
So if something is dangerous, it must mean that there is something in there worth creating danger for, something worth guarding.
Or,
we should check it out.
Or that means it's cursed and you shouldn't go in there, because if you are not willing to take on a curse like a certain shield,
These gems are cursed, so should we not find the gems?
Grimgob, what was your investigation check?
19.
With
Hold
a
on,
19?
I think this door is a puzzle. Let me take a look.
And Grimgob starts drawing these red strings out of their pack and connecting them to
These
these
one's a little
points.
dirty,
dear.
so I'll press it digitate to make it cleaner in case that helps.
Sure. Just little portions of dust. For all of you in this small space, if any of you have allergies, there's dust in your face.
Not you!
But you do note by doing that, there are 3 entrances. no fewer than 3 entrances that kind of spiderweb out, and in places they do connect and overlap. But with that investigation check, you notice that they do seem to offer 3 very distinct paths, and the symbols along them change. You can see along one path, the northernmost entrance, there are marks along the pathway that look like little walls. You can see stones stacked up end over end. You can see ones that look almost like little castles built to shelter people. You can see little knights in armor looking like holding shields and spears that they are on guard. That route, a lot of sort of symbology around like fortification, around safety, around defense. You can see the path that is on the eastern side. Gold, little gold coins kind of scattered along this pathway. Diamonds. You can see in one place in a 4-way intersection little carvings of like what looks like a little very simplified marketplace, 4 little stalls and some little stick figure minotaur. You can see like little trinkets and things carved into this place. All of the symbols along this route speak of wealth and of treasure and of various sort of offerings. The final route, which is on the western side, you see little minotaur warriors thrusting swords forwards. You can see minotaurs holding bows, kind of drawing them taut. You can see minotaurs standing on broken bodies of like very dragon-looking things. This is a pathway that seems to have symbology related to fighting, or war, or glory. So you have a route of safety, a route of wealth, and a route of glory.
All right, check this out, guys. I think that there seems to be 3 routes on this maze that will lead, and perhaps whichever one we stick the figure to will open the door and give us that route. It looks like, and I say what he said, this north one, it looks like fortification and safety and night. I don't know, that seems like the safe route. Kind of boring. Then we have this east route here, gold, diamonds. I think there might be a mark there and wealth, so probably a lot of good stuff in there. And then this west one, we're probably not going to do this one, but there's a lot of minotaurs and fighting and danger. There's probably fighting in all of them, but this one is like bonus fighting.
Ralph, do you know anything about the Lost Pilgrim?
The first pilgrim.
So
First Pilgrim, never mind.
Does-
The Lost Pilgrim?
Make a religion check, roll. There's probably, if there's a first, that kind of gives that there is a last probably.
I think you said both of those things.
Oh, sorry, it is the first. It is
Okay.
the first.
First
First
pilgrim
one.
on the wall.
Important to know, the first one. They're the very first.
okay. Quick question: do
Yeah.
I get my thing?
Give me 1 second. I
Oh,
can't
we all
remember
got
yours
things.
off
We all
the
got
top of
things.
my head.
I think advantage on religion checks in certain
Give
situations.
me just one moment here.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
And this whole thing just kind of seems religious, but I don't understand any of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Oh, these are the ruins from Overcity.
Oh hell yeah! That is the wrong set of stats. Religion. Beep, boop, bop. I know my alphabet. No, I don't. Do, 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 do.
Comes after A for sure.
QRS.
Before
Did I not write religion? No, I did. It's all the way down here. Okay, dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
It's out of order. I forgot to write religion, so I put it at the bottom.
The first pilgrim, you've heard about them in your training. This is an individual revered by many Minotaur as this incredibly sort of the paragon of bravery. Their name was Karos, the first pilgrim. They sort of believed, after like living a pretty simple life, they were like this Minotaur that just lived in the wild and followed storms and hunted things. And they had a very simple belief that to walk willingly towards what others fear is the true meaning of strength. And for Minotaurs, strength is a very important attribute, but more than like being victorious over people, more than crushing your enemies, for him it was about facing what you feared. For those that followed in his wake, after he had several pretty sort of famous heroic deeds amongst Minotaur, people followed in his footsteps, and this idea of walking towards what you fear became the foundation of his faith. he was kind of, I guess he's a Christ-like figure in that he never created a religion, but one was formed around him. People that follow him are people who call themselves pilgrims. It's not really an active religion in today's Mythalstrean, but in the early days of this continent, many of the early roads that were created through the base and what the goblins largely use now were created by those pilgrims. They charted those places out. They bravely walked through a place that many people would not travel prior to the charting. And so what you have found, you said a dirty 20?
Yep.
And there is rumors that some artifact of this individual, they never officially died. There is this mythology that they rose to be amongst the stars. There is this mythology that, for Minotaur that live along the coast, they sank into the ocean and became coral. Everybody has their own version of it. But there are people who whisper that there are artifacts of this saint buried in the mud within this basin, and perhaps with that natural 20 from Thule, you have stumbled upon one of those places.
Okay. Ralph's gonna look at the door and be like, the first pilgrim, Karos believed in basically showing their strength by walking towards what they're feared. So it could be based off of that ethos. There's probably an artifact here from them.
Has
Judging
Tonky
by
heard of Karos?
Do you say that?
Yeah.
So when you say Karos out loud, certainly. You haven't heard much about them, but as strong as Karos is a saying amongst Minotaurs. So this is this is a legendary figure, and I would say, Tonky, even more than that. This is a person who was. They didn't teach this idea of being fearless. It was really about fear being sacred. You only became afraid of things because they mattered. And so this was an individual that beyond just being strong also has a lot of other elements to the kind of faith that attract a wide variety of people. And a lot of people who explore caves worship Karos because that is a lot of times where their wild sort of adventures led them. They are, I would say you probably most know them because you, unlike a lot of Minotaur, they prefer to just kind of grab people and slam them into the ground.
We love that guy.
Just put it out there. If this is a puzzle based off of the words, the path, was the path invisible path or path not noticed?
The words?
Yeah.
The first pilgrim sought the Horned King.
No.
Many roads were offered. Only one led to truth, and it was a path less evident.
Path less evident.
Grimgob.
Oh.
As you finish tracing the first route, it does not lead to the Minotaur. You trace the second one.
Yeah.
It does not lead to the Minotaur. And that only leaves one route. But Grimgob, as your small goblin finger, and your arm's getting tired because this thing is huge. So you're tracing it. It also does not lead to the Minotaur. None of the paths that are evident lead to this individual.
So, a secret path?
Well,
Well, shouldn't you just trace back from the Minotaur? That's the best way to find the entrance in a maze. If you're just looking at it, to solve it, you have to go backwards.
Can I try that?
Yeah, of course. You take your little finger, you're damn,
Good
switch
idea,
your
no,
hands. You get the workout from the other shoulder.
you do the same thing but with your other hand.
You follow the pathway backwards first, and very quickly you come to a dead end. You come to another one and another, almost shaped like a little sun in the middle with the rays kind of coming off. This doesn't connect to anything.
There's no path. Do we have to make our own?
What do Minotaurs fear more than anything?
I look at Tonky.
What do Minotaurs?
Make a history check. And make it at advantage.
I was gonna ask if I got my thing. History,
Maybe
let's
it's not
see.
knowing.
18 on the dice, so 16.
All that you can think in this moment, Tonki, this is so, like, there's this request that goes that everybody looks at you, Tonki, and there's this like zoom into Tonki's head. It goes through the pupil of Tonki's eye to a little Tonki running on a huge hamster wheel. And the wheel just slowly starts spinning, and Tonki, all that you can really think of in this moment is like minotaurs they don't get lost. They hate being lost.
Probably being lost, like we about to be.
So, if the first pilgrim represented facing your greatest fear, and if the path not evident,
It's on a wall?
On 2 doors.
2 doors, okay.
is it possible that we need to be lost to find the center?
Is there a
Or maybe we gotta open the door first, because then that might open up the puzzle more.
Is there a what?
like doors, wall, presumably to the entrance of this labyrinth that we see on
Kind
the
of like
doors.
cave wall, but yeah.
So it's just like in essentially like natural wall.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to actually go in to see, like, it just kind of extends over us. We couldn't enter from above, as it were.
No. This door needs to open to
Okay,
progress further.
because I'm thinking
inside.
like maybe the path that we don't anticipate
I like
is on a
that.
three-dimensional
I
plane.
like that. But no, the obstacles that are concretely in front of you seem to be a little bit too difficult to go over or through.
Right.
So we're going in, right?
Well, we gotta figure out how to open the door.
Nora picks up the little figurine.
And none of the paths, north, south, east, those don't go to the middle. There doesn't seem to be a path that goes to the middle.
You pick
Wait,
up this little
north,
silver
south, east.
figurine.
What about
There is
west?
Sorry.
this
North, east, west.
that just thrums through the door as you pick it up. Almost expectant.
Maybe just put it in the middle?
Is there a southern entrance?
Yourself. And Nora just like touches the figurine to the other Minotaur.
You go to touch the figurine to the Minotaur, and like Jumanji, it right to the edge of this maze.
Like, not the Minotaur.
Not the Minotaur, just right to the
there-
edge of the frame,
Oh,
right near kind of
Are you
like one of
saying-
these entrances.
Is there an entrance to the south?
No.
Is that where the figurine started?
Generally,
No, the figurine started kind of, like it seemed like almost kind of randomly placed, but
Hey, can I see it?
I mean, it's on the door now. I
Generally-
can't.
objects
You
that
can
you
pull it off
find
the
at
door.
excavation sites from ancient civilizations
you
shouldn't
put it on
touched
the
in-
south.
Is anyone listening to Tilly? Or are we all just going about our business?
Well, Grimgob just picks this up and as Tuli speaks, just places it on the southern part of this wall, directly in front of where there is like these little spiky. It's like a almost symbol of like a wooden barricade. As you do that, the pilgrim just over this wooden barricade and crosses through.
Oh,
You can kind of pull
That
your
makes
hand
sense.
away, and it just begins to move along this path. You can see it goes to a place where there should be a dead end, and you can see there is like a fire at this. It should be impossible, but it moves
got
through
some
that
guy.
symbol.
Nora starts like trying to take notes and like which way it's going.
As this almost steel pilgrim navigates this maze by traversing through what look like impossible barriers by going straight through the obstacles. And as it reaches the center, passing through one of these walls that it should not be able to pass through, you can see the Minotaur just sinks into the door and the door parts open. You can see this air that just blows out past you is cold. It is stale. There is dust in it. Cobwebs blow in this space. Nobody has been in here in a very long time. Looking in this kind of space, so thick are the cobwebs, and you can see like little dead husks of spiders on the ground. This has been empty for so long that not even the pests that eat pests live here. There are ancient stone benches in this little room. You can see ancient braziers. And even though this is such a abandoned place, as the doors open, these smokeless blue flames ignite.
Well, that's creepy.
You can hear
it's
and
fucking
see,
awesome.
kind of in the center of this room, trickling from a horn-shaped fountain, what looks like crystal clear water. You can see carvings on the walls of Minotaur pilgrims sharing meals with each other. You can smell in this place, faintly, old earth and cedar. This is a place that feels almost immediately very different than the place around you. Are you all entering?
Nora,
Yeah.
This
She's
is-
like walking forward.
this isn't creepy. This is like old magic. Like this is adventure, like actual adventure from those books you read.
Yeah, she's like walking through.
Walk through. There are 3 exits from this room, aside from the one that you enter in. You enter in from what is the eastern wall. On the western wall, there are 3 exits, but 2 are sealed by massive stone slabs that depict horned faces. The central one is open to a super long corridor of stone, but the corridor itself dark. Only the blue flames of this room kind of light it up. And Nora, as you enter looking up, you can see on the ceiling there is an inscription in Infernal. You read Infernal?
Mhm.
It says, "When fear is behind you, rest. When fear is before you, advance."
Oh. There's a riddle. When fear... although I don't know if it's a riddle so much as just instructions.
Have all of you entered?
Yeah. I'll follow as soon as Nora got a couple feet in. Or else not gonna let her go in alone.
So when fear is behind... And Nora repeats that for the group.
I would wait, because I'm not super keen on going into this place suddenly that we weren't really planning on and don't really have any reason to go into. And also, it's an ancient city that we know is cursed because Tonki was already cursed.
Tonki,
by
as
an
the
item.
door opens and you look in here, one thing that you can tell with your sense, you can see these like stone benches that rest all over this place. Each of them is wide enough that you could lay down on them. They're huge. This is a place where your sense immediately tells you all of the furniture, the floors, it could all support you.
So it sounds like we all have walked through except for Thule.
Correct.
Thule, you're not coming?
I want to take a look at the door more.
Okay.
Because I'm still like, what? By their own admission, my friends have just said we shouldn't be here. We have to hide. Now we're here, and now we're investigating this area. When we came down to look for toads, but the toads weren't supposedly here, but they were maybe with the goblins. Nowhere down here. So why are we down here? And also, if we just opened the door,
Are you asking
we're going
him?
down one
Are
of
you
the
asking
3
us?
paths. I'm finishing. We're going down one of the 3 paths that we explicitly found out shouldn't be the path that we take. So why the fuck are we going through the door now? There's got to be something that we're missing here. I want to see, is there something on the door that would indicate a path less expected, other than the fact that
Make
the
an
thing just went
insight
through, like, you know, we watched the figure go through the walls.
Make an insight check.
Was any of that out loud just to check on like what we know?
It's kind of with the eyes.
Yeah, I'm just kind of, yeah.
They're bugging out. And kind of,
And that's a 14.
the red string is
We
coming
recognize those eyes.
out. With a 14, Thule, you do sense that there is something to this maze that speaks to something more, something beyond this place, probably further within. But you cannot tell. It has been a long day. You are probably about 6 hours away from exhaustion. And it just doesn't seem to be able to connect in your brain right now. But you can still hear the goblin search parties making their way around the Underdark. They have not given up. You hear more have actually arrived and redoubled their search efforts. Yeah?
2 things.
Yes.
I mentioned that Nora was trying to take notes on which way the Minotaur was going through the maze.
Sure.
How successfully did Nora do that?
Make a flat intelligence check.
Thank you.
Can I help?
Natural 20!
Needed.
Nora,
There's mine.
Nora, it's your time to shine.
I took notes!
You remember this Minotaur first went through what looked like almost the symbols of like a wooden sort of palisade or like a wall. As they passed through that, You remember that they had then traversed down a long straightaway, after which they had come to like this kind of four-way roundabout. There, they had passed through sort of the, it almost looked like it should spiral in on itself, and then at the last minute kind of turned away back in like a central path, but the Minotaur just went straight through the wall there. And it strikes you that it's less about the path and more about the symbols. The symbols that they navigated might speak to some of the things that are going on a little bit further here. You had seen them pass through a wall. You had seen this pilgrim figure pass through what looked almost like from like a distance, maybe like a gate with like some handles, but as you looked at it a little closer, it was just two closed eyes. And then you had come to a place where there was just simply like no place to traverse further, and that pilgrim had just gone straight across, as if the wall itself didn't matter. And only at that point had it reached the heart of this sort of maze-like door, and the Minotaur had disappeared and the doors had opened.
Okay, so if the wall that he passed through first is the one behind us, because that was a wall blocking our path and now we're through, and we're supposed to rest when fear's behind us and advance when fear's ahead, I'm more afraid of what's behind us. I would like to sleep.
And for the four of you who have entered this space, you hear the goblins as they move through almost very loudly in bursts, like Doppler, but as they get outside of the direct sort of line of this door and that little crevice that you had passed through, it's like the sound dies. The space that you are within almost swallows sound. This is a very almost like dampened space because of the mud and the stone around it.
Does it
Totally.
feel cozy?
It does.
Tuli, come through. This seems like a good place to rest, and the signs say so. And I'm sure if you come through, the doors will probably close, and they won't find us. And I point out towards the goblins.
Well, will anyone find us?
We don't want anyone to find us.
I think he
Well, I
means
want him
maybe
to find
friends
us.
might not find us.
Well, if we're gonna walk
You guys
in
have other friends
Yes.
that are gonna come down here and find us?
Let's
Maybe?
walk in the steps of the first pilgrim. If nothing else, maybe we'll find something for Tonks.
And it does seem like we kind of just have to bust through a wall at the end, and you're really good at that.
I agree. We should pay respects to the first pilgrim.
If nothing else, we might get some insight into the history.
We would like to, and we gotta wait out those gobos anyway.
Tuli also. No one's been here before. I'm sure someone needs to make sure we don't touch anything we're not supposed to, and you're very good at figuring that out.
I think he's already mad that we touched things.
Well,
Fair.
I'm more confused because all of you are acting very strangely.
How so?
Well, we came down here for toads, and now you're more interested in something that usually I would have already been down into, like, half an hour ago.
I don't care about the toads.
I do care about the toads, but I also am a little low on spells. And if this is a good place to rest, which it seems like it is, it
Okay,
actually feels
but
kind of
it
better
sounds
inside.
more like you're
We can
just
turn around.
justifying going down there by other things, which is fine. I don't mind going down. I just think that we need to be honest with why we're going down, because we were sent on a mission to help literally the continent.
I'm afraid that if we go back out there, we'll have to kill more goblins, and that's not why we're here.
Okay. I don't think we need to go back out, but I think we need to have a plan if we are going to go and explore an ancient city that's been closed off for thousands of years and
this
has
is just a
probably
temple. It's not the
infernal...
whole
Yeah, this isn't all say. This is just
Well,
a temple
no, but
to the
it's-
first pilgrim.
Well, yes, but it's also still an ancient temple that has been closed off for thousands of years and had some very prominent religious importance and sacred probably ritual that we've already probably impacted in some way by playing with the door.
Well, Tonki's pretty into it, so I think...
Yeah, me really kind of worship this guy.
Yeah.
I just think that maybe I can't believe I get to say this. Exercise caution and be patient before you do anything, because we might die.
We also
very
might
likely
die.
Could.
We also might die if the goblins find us, and this seems like a good place to rest and hide from the goblins.
I'm just saying that if we go around investigating ancient temples without, being clear about what our objectives are, we might disrupt what's already down there, and if it's something that's been sealed off for so long, it might not be happy if it's still alive, if it ever was alive, or it might be a construct, because I think that the technology in this area is probably pretty advanced for the time.
I would say, given your check, you know that. That's like one of the
their
prime
things.
features
Yeah,
of that
that's one of
place.
their
Is like how did they build the pyramids?
It's like, oh, yeah.
3 things. Sorry. 1, goblins out there. We're probably safer in here, at least temporarily. 2, we probably already started the ritual by opening the door, so we might as well just see if we can finish it since we started it. And 3, if the Dirge Moon is buried under the earth in a similar way, then this might give us good information on what faces us when we find that.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with any of you. I just think that maybe we should rest here and plan.
When you say here, do you mean inside or outside?
Here in the general sense of the area that will be safest for our immediate needs.
Yeah, we're all
He looks
here.
up from the camp that she's been working on setting up, and she's like, "Oh,
We are in the safe place. We're trying to wait for you to come in and rest with us.
Funky, you sit on the bench, and the bench
But
itself.
when the Minotaur went through, there were closed eyes after the wall. And part of that is mentioned up here with resting when fear is behind you. And again, since I'm afraid of the thing behind us, just generally, I get the sense that maybe it's good to rest here and not later. I can pull cards if you'd like, if that will make you feel better.
Sorry, I don't... Am I, like, physically blockading us from...
No. So they've
You're
all moved
outside the
in.
maze. We're in it.
You're outside. They're setting up camp on the inside. You're still on the outside.
We're trying to get you to come in.
I think that's what we're trying to
I thought we were already, like, here, and you were all like, come on.
Oh my
no,
god,
no.
this makes so much
Okay,
more
wait,
You
sense.
wait,
specifically said you
Okay.
do not go in.
Yeah,
Yeah, because,
that's-
like, I thought it
And
was,
that's
like,
why I've been trying to
at the
convince you to
door.
you
come
meant
in.
further
Right.
into the corridor that's like
Yeah.
dark.
No,
Gotcha. Yeah,
we're all
yeah,
literally
yeah.
in the room that says rest here, and I'm just like, let's
And
rest.
you're outside just like,
Well, or at least that's
No.
what we
So
all.
Yeah.
finally,
Yeah.
Tuli's like, all right,
I
I'll,
was-
I'll rest
my
10
God.
feet further. And he walks in.
No.
I'm glad we cleared that
Yeah.
up.
So rewind.
I was like, why is everyone getting
You
so,
have,
like...
you have a very
No-
long
none
form
of us
agreement.
could understand
It does
why
make
you weren't coming in.
it does seem a lot more confusing to be like, no, we should be safe. Let's go into the dark hallway.
Nora's just like, cozy room, says rest here, let's rest here. And Julia's just like, no, we should rest here.
So am
you
I?
have a long form agreement.
so now that we're all
Yes.
in the room,
Yes,
do the doors close behind us?
they sure do. As
All
Tuli
right.
kind of entered the room, or whoever entered
Yeah, told you
last, the door does
Now we're safer.
grind shut, and the sound of goblins vanishes. It is very peaceful in this place.
Rest?
Start
Yes, please.
setting stuff up. I just want to look at. I'm not
Hold
gonna
on.
go anywhere.
This is really important. You think goblins come from eggs?
I meant more just the mire claw, because they were also toads. Oh, I have heard in some religions where they believe that the gods changed into animals and then had relations with other animals, and then Nora goes on a whole tangent
Before I
about
say
gods
this-
and religion.
The longer that you spoke, the more other people went. Okay, first Matt, and then Alana, and then Vincent.
Now that the door's closed,
Yes.
completely sealed, no way to, like, reopen it or anything? Or is it like, oh...
If
we
you
just
go
push it
over
back?
and you kind of gently push, it moves a little bit, and so
Okay.
you imagine you can push it open.
Okay.
But interestingly, thinking about the construction of this, you pushing it will open it. Pushing it from the outside won't do anything with the mud kind of covering it. Like, even seeing like the maze and everything, especially actually thinking about it, the piece itself, aside, like most of the goblins would have a hard time placing it in the kind of correct positioning.
Right.
And they think that it's a bad place to begin with. So, yeah.
Okay.
Tonki's already stretching out on one of the Tonki-sized benches.
And it's warm, despite that the fact that the air itself is like a little bit cool.
Someone laid down there just a few minutes ago.
It's like the ground itself, the stone itself, all kind of a little bit warmer than the rest of the space. This is a really peaceful room. And then the corridor beyond is sort of dark. There are shadows that paint and hug the walls. It doesn't feel especially ominous. It just feels unvisited.
So we're in a circular-ish room? Square room?
This room,
Polygonal shaped?
it's a circle.
Circle room. 3 doors ahead of us. Middle one's open. The door behind us, the one we came in.
Correct.
And then there are
3 doors, sort of door-sized sort of shapes, like frames. One of them is open to just this dark corridor, the central one, open beyond. The 2 others are covered almost like you might cover a sarcophagus with like a stone slab. And the slabs themselves have these symbols of like horned faces upon them.
Okay. Are they like intimidating horned faces, or are they just like effigies of Minotaur?
Make an insight check.
Nora yawns and as she begins to like drift off to sleep. She says, I wonder if the fact that the doors are closed and it's peaceful in here means we should probably be advancing.
We set a watch.
Okay.
14.
With a 14, you look at this, and it's not intimidating in any way.
Okay.
Sorry. Were you done?
Ralph's just gonna be like, well, if what Nora said about the inscriptions, right? I mean, there doesn't seem to be fear ahead of us, just quiet. So, I don't think we're in desperate need to advance. This is probably the best chance we have to rest.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Nora, while we rest, can you help me with something?
Sure, what do you need?
I don't think I have right now the inks to copy the familiar spell, but could you cast it on, and he will open up the bag of holding and take out the proto-salamander egg. Can you cast it on this and just kind of make it my familiar?
Will Puff go away if I do this?
I don't believe so.
So this is the thing, Joe, that you said that like another caster can cast it for me and just make it my familiar, at least for now, just to kind of like, just so that the egg doesn't break before I
It's not going
get
to
a
make
chance.
your cat disappear forever. I think it takes its place temporarily until you recast the spell.
Oh wait, I thought you said that she could like cast it for me.
Yeah. But like mechanically, otherwise
Two
you could
familiars out of
spam Flock of Familiars with a level 1 spell. So the limitation is like you have to recast it to bring it back.
Yeah,
And then you'll have 2 familiars,
One familiar
one
can
for
be
your friend.
cast at a time.
Yeah.
So if you cast it, the familiar that is currently out disappears. Similar to how
okay. I think
when
I'm missing
Rez
this.
became
So I can make multiple familiars,
Okay.
but I have to
But
choose
it
which one is out.
It wouldn't be my familiar.
No. So imagine that you are creating a token. This token will temporarily take the place of your familiar. This is specifically because otherwise, mechanically, you can just start building a Pokemon library of familiars.
Yeah.
So you can give this to Grimgob. It's a transference of this familiar, and then you can resummon your old one. But otherwise, you could just continue to build familiars.
But I can. So if I were to resummon Puff afterwards, his familiar would pop back into familiar space.
Nope. Totally fine. This is just a way to get this familiar to Grimgob.
Would
While
that
it-
cost 2 castings of Find Familiar? Therefore,
It will cost a single casting of Find Familiar. It is really just to make sure that the mechanics don't get abused.
Great, good, because I only have materials for 1 casting, and
That's
I was
what
like,
I was thinking. That was the other concern.
Puff's not here right now, right? Puff's not here right now?
Puff is here.
Oh, Puff, okay.
Uh,
So she can cast Find Familiar, turn it into a token
Yep.
for now, and Puff's still here, and later she can give that token to me.
Can give you the token, and then we'll need to spend whatever it is, 10 minutes to bring Puff back for themselves. But yeah, it will cost, all that it's going to cost is 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Nora does the requisite spell twice, but only using the one set of ingredients.
Correct.
And you have an egg that is your familiar, and Puff is back.
Okay.
15-ish minutes later.
This egg, when you cast the spell on this, just becomes a small, rather mundane-looking stone, almost like a carbonate calcium chunk.
Oh.
But this is what you can use to cast that spell as sort of that component piece.
I think I created a fossil.
Basically, yeah.
That makes sense. I probably need to actually learn the spell myself for it to be a little guy.
Or you could put it in a big fire. I read a book about a kind of disenfranchised queen who had some stones as well, and she put them in a fire, and then that made 3 familiars.
Disenfranchised.
Oh, 3 is better than 1, but
wasn't a
let me
very
copy
good
the spell
ending, though.
first, and we'll see how that goes. But thank you.
The author died before they finished.
They were an elf, too, so it was like 2,000 years.
Damn.
They just kept making side stories.
Weird.
So who's taking the first watch?
Nora's canonically said she was going to bed.
I'll take the first watch since I am.
I'll share the first watch.
Okay. So Grimgob and Ralph. What about second watch?
I'll do second.
Okay.
I'll take second watch too.
Nora alone shall handle third.
Oh, yeah.
Nora and Puff.
Nora Puff.
Nora and Puff shall
I
handle
guess, yeah,
third.
there isn't-
You're never alone when
No.
you have a familiar.
No.
It's true.
Okay, so is there anything that Tonki, Thule, Nora, or Puff want to do before they go to sleep?
Puff cuddles.
Free
And
action.
catches whatever, motes of dust are floating around.
Certainly dust, but no real beings. There's no little flies or anything like that.
They find a spider corpse and start tapping it
Oh,
around.
almost for sure, yeah.
Oh,
The
don't
area
think
that
that.
we're
It's probably
resting in
was.
isn't it's relatively small and closed off. Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to go investigating terribly far, but I feel like there is probably enough to keep Thule occupied in this room in terms of interesting things to study from an ancient civilization.
Yeah, absolutely. There are these beautiful carvings, this magical fire coming out of these braziers. There's this fountain trickling clean water. Yeah, there's a lot of
I
stuff
guess,
to look
yeah. So the things that would probably catch my eye would be what are the mechanisms by which this fire and this water can still be, piping through the city? It seems to be whatever system is in place for this infrastructure has been somewhat maintained, even though it's untouched for thousands of years, presumably.
For the fire, you could make an Arcana check, or for the fountain, you could make a
Engineering.
Engineering.
we'll
check,
call it
yeah.
a survival check.
Okay. I want to figure out I'm more interested in the plumbing.
So are a lot of people.
The
Honestly,
arcane fire
I
feels
put
more
so much
yeah.
thought into how water works in these
This
worlds.
is for you.
Yeah.
18.
All that you can really tell about this water is that the source is natural, not magical. There is a slight warmth to the water, and that seems to be what is generating warmth on the floor and the benches. This is perhaps fed from some kind of a spring. But it's clear and pure. It doesn't smell sulfuric. It is maybe fed up through a mineral shelf, and so it has a natural purification. This is something that takes advantage of a singular geological structure almost perfectly as a blend of natural and sort of civic engineering. And so actually I would say, Thule, with that, you imagine that this structure, when Obra was a city, was on the outskirts, probably outside of the city, the temple that people would,
or something.
yeah, take a day trip to go and visit.
Yeah. So given that, could this water source be the same source that we kind of determined maybe deep below the sweet bog, geographically speaking?
No,
could there be
this-
some? Because it seems
The
like
water in the sweet bog didn't seem like the
That
source
was-
was different than anything else. It was just being cleansed by something.
right.
This seems to be from a pure source, so very different.
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a different underwater source. Seems more like some sort of
Correct.
deep water hot spring or something.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. So there's geothermic energy potential here.
You can hear Thule kind of like huddling up with the fountain, kind of like mumbling to himself
Casting.
about different kinds of energy sources.
Legend
But Grim and Ralph, the two of you take
I'd like
this.
to talk to Ralph during our watch.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Ralph.
Yeah, Grim.
I know we don't always see eye to eye, but I'm glad you didn't get stuck in Ulock. Erlock? Greylock? Something lock?
Erlock.
Erlock.
Coffee lock.
It is the very clever naming convention of mountain and lake because it is near
It's Lake Mountain.
both a mountain and a lake.
Oh, it's not Lake Mountain.
No,
It's Mountain Lake.
mountain lake. It's Mount Lake.
Mountain Lake.
I'm glad I didn't get stuck either. Could imagine, one, missing out on all this, but two, letting you all do something like this without me.
We've almost gotten killed so many times.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry for how the last few encounters have gone. It's not ideal, and it's generally not something I would like to continue doing.
I gotta say something. The group has not gone with any of the decisions I've made so far. Everyone has been out of my control, which is fine. People tell it's probably due to that me being less risk averse, whatever that means. But the one we made with the spirit is the one I hate most of all. And I couldn't voice it then. But I knew what it meant. Freeing the toads means we're gonna have to kill all the Mireclaw pact. And I don't think there's any other way. And the others seem to think that we can talk them out of it. And I think that's worth trying, but I don't think that's gonna work. And that was really hard for me to have the group make that decision. And I knew I didn't even have a say. Because no one would be with me. Much like many of the other things that we've been doing.
Well, I think we all want it to not be true. And that's the best way of putting it. But I would hesitate to say that the group, wouldn't listen if you spoke the words. You might not. I think we're all just a little too optimistic in this moment to heed them. And that makes sense.
I'm not sure what you just said.
That's, you know what? Basically what I'm saying is I think people listen when you say it's a bad idea. I think in this particular case, we're hoping hard enough that we don't have to kill everyone to make this work. I think we're all looking for any loopholes we can, but you may have noticed we're bad at loopholes. We're also bad at disarming traps set before us, both literally and figuratively. So I have a feeling like our path is just going to be the most straightforward, which is unfortunately seeming to be the bloodiest so far. I don't want that to be true forever. But we're gonna have to figure out how to be more clever about it. And Grim, I'm gonna be blunt with you. I'm not particularly clever. You and Nora are. Thule is definitely clever. I also just don't understand.
You see what he
the
did with that guy at the gate?
I really think that was not intentional. If it was intentional, damn.
I'll fake my death and raise me back to life.
Don't fall asleep tonight.
So understand where he's coming from a lot of the time, but I feel like I just am currently incapable of seeing that much wonder in the world.
Why?
It's been an interesting couple of years, Grim. I'll put it that way. We also want to make sure we don't forget the original reason we set out for all of this. And this isn't going to be a happy ending.
Yeah.
Can each of you make a perception check as you keep your watch?
$18.
Is that a number?
9.
That's a number.
With an 18, you notice that your whole party, even Thule, the murderer,
No, he was the murdered. Remember, he got murdered.
sleeping very peacefully. But Nora dreams.
Peacefulest of all.
Nora, as you sleep, you dream. You find yourself again in a vast circular chamber that stretches out around you. You can see the same constellations that dot the floor at your feet. You can see above you, echoed in an endless false night sky, the same sort of constellation shimmering in slow drifting patterns. You can see at the far end of this space there is a doorway of solid marble, seamless and unbroken, no handle, no hinge, just a surface like polished bone. You see just pure white. And make a perception check.
Damn. You see shit.
Do you speak Celestial?
I think I do. I must, because I said I was writing all my stuff in...
You sure?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Carved above this door, you can see glyphs of circles, unbroken, orbiting each other, connected with these complex arcs and lines. Celestial, certainly, though you cannot read it. There is just a mote of this magical light that glares, and you cannot read.
Well, I could read that last time.
But, Nora, you turn your attention down at these stars. You can see constellations, lyres, stars. You can see halos. You can see what looks like a set of scales kind of crafted into the floor out of points of light. You can see what look like mountains. You can see what look like hourglasses. These constellations are many. Make an insight check. And then roll a d100.
Oh.
Meanwhile,
11.
Grim God
Hold for D100. Was not prepared for D100.
is watching.
No.
With an 11, you look at these constellations, and some of these symbols stand out to you. But they swim amongst the various stars and quickly become lost. When you saw the scales, you thought of your sister, this devotee to Tyr that seemed almost linked, but then just gone amongst this field. Roll your D100.
88.
Okay.
That's a lucky number.
You farted
Asian
88 times in your dreams.
With an 88, at the very end of this dream, towards the end of the second watch, which we'll get to in just a moment, the door cracks open.
Nora attempts to run for it.
You can see from the seam there is this dreamy blue light that snakes out like tendrils from the seams of this door, and then you realize not tendrils but like hands kind of pulling it open. But you wake up, and we'll get back to that in just a moment. But Tonki and Thule, the two of you have the second watch. Grim and Ralph wake you from your slumber, And you come to in this very warm kind of space, even with the blue fires in the corner. It's dimly lit. Is there anything that you're doing over the course of your watch?
Maybe chit-chatting. Tonki's been, like, making snacks from the supplies in her backpack.
Oh.
Making and sharing snacks.
Probably would write some while... I feel like I've... temper the investigation until everyone was awake, because I've already gone through this room probably enough. So probably just keeping watch.
Okay.
Shit.
Make a perception check, both of you.
I don't
21.
think that's a good roll.
Okay.
6.
Only one person has to pass.
True.
This is a place that is very quiet. You hear no sounds of goblins behind you, nothing from the hallway ahead. You do hear the sounds of Nora breathing just slightly faster towards the end of your watch.
How much do we know about Nora's stuff?
Yeah.
How much
feel
does
like-
Nora know about Nora's stuff?
I feel like it's
But where are you from?
zero, because
there-
I feel like all the stuff has been, like, not said out loud.
No, but there have been, like, instances of, like... Well, I don't know, because it's been described as, like,
Most of what you know
seeing things happening.
is very
From,
vague. Like Nora
yeah.
makes very, very vague predictions. So vague that they may come true, but it's kind of hard to verify it.
Beware of donkeys.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. And then, sure enough, eventually, maybe 2 weeks later, somebody talks about how, they know a guy who got bit by a donkey, and wait, is that?
But I'm also talking about, when there have been, the mechanical moments of, redoing roles where something has happened. I'm pretty sure, I've almost died, and then it's been switched to me not dying, and it's, presented
Nora
as
experiences
Nora is
that,
seeing these
but
different
you
paths,
guys,
but
it's a single path for all of
okay.
you.
So it's not this thing happens and it's whoa! I felt like something weird happened.
No, we definitely would have addressed that a little earlier.
Okay.
We're not, yeah.
So there might have been a really cruel nickname when we were kids. Or at least
What?
cruel. Ralph thought was cruel.
What was it?
The Noracle.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
I remember that.
Certain someone may have taken a dunk in a pool because of it.
But aside from the Noracle, nobody stirs especially. It is a relatively quiet watch. And your watch comes to an end, and Nora, you wake up. And Puff wakes up. The rest of your allies find their way to sleep. And you find yourself in this place. Make an insight check, Nora.
Damn. Where were you? 18.
When that door opened, as the dream fades from your mind, and the way the dream seemed to almost slip between your fingers, you feel in the same way that you were aware of something on the other side, maybe something is now aware of you.
Here?
But that just kind of fades as the dream fades, and you find yourself in this very calm, very peaceful space.
Nora is kind of ruminating on the thing that's aware of her now, while side-eyeing the two impressions on the door.
You were dreaming very heavily.
You were asleep.
No, you just woke up.
Oh. Well, yeah, it happens. I almost got it, but maybe next time.
What?
Is all she says about it.
Are you following up with that at all?
Well, you weren't actually running. You were just breathing hard.
Oh, no, I was running in my dream.
What were you running towards?
What do you mean running towards?
Well, usually I run towards something or I run away from something. So I guess you could have been running from something. What are you running from?
I don't know yet. It's gotta go a little bit longer. I also couldn't read this time. You know how sometimes when you look at words in your dreams and they're backwards?
No.
You should try it sometime.
Try to dream backwards?
No, try to read in your dream. Or try to dream backwards. That would be interesting. I haven't tried that.
Usually when I dream that I'm somewhere floaty.
Oh, no, Puff, stop that. Well, I don't think I've ever dreamed being somewhere floaty.
Oh.
Oh, no, there was that one time.
Sometimes it's wet too.
Oh, it's often
Sometimes it's warm.
I love
Actually,
those dreams.
I have a lot of dreams.
That's good. I'd be happy to chat about them sometime. But you should also go to sleep now. If you don't, you might not have enough rest for what's ahead. And Nora gestures to the 2 plaques. I have a feeling once we're done with our rest, fear will be ahead of us.
Well, I think there's always fear. Right now, too. Just not at the forefront.
I think what I mean is at the forefront.
Yeah.
So rest up. Fear's ahead, but not yet.
Okay.
Also, I have a good feeling about today. So, rest well.
I'm happy for you.
Nora holds up 2 cards and she's like, they're really good today. Well, this one's moderately good, but in combination, it could be very good.
Okay. Thule's just like, what the fuck?
You turn over, your eyes wide still. But eventually, Thule, unless you try to stay awake, sleep will find you.
Nah, Thule's still got things on his mind.
Okay.
He's got processing to do in his dreams.
So you do some processing in that
All
REM
those
sleep.
souls.
Nora, make a perception check.
Lost.
And is there anything that you're doing on your watch?
Cuddle and Puff.
Okay.
I don't think that Puff gives advantage on perception checks.
Nope.
But Cuddle and Puff and kind of just eyeing the 2 carvings. Because Nora's convinced now that they're going to come alive and chase us.
Sure.
Or lead us. Just block our path.
Make a investigation check.
Cool. Well, perception was a 13.
Okay.
Investigation's my better score, but I got a 9.
With a 9, these are just doors.
That's...
And though you might expect it for the course of your watch,
Maybe they'll fall over.
They do not come alive. They do not fall over. They simply stand and rest.
Maybe we have to break them.
And your allies rest, and all of you can mark off a long rest.
Hey.
We didn't level, right?
You do not level. But you imagine
I do love imagining.
that should you find your way to the heart of this place and complete your objective, you will do so. You are very close.
I was kind of hoping you say, you imagine, should you live?
I mean,
There's been some question marks.
In
Should
so
you
many
live, you will have a better chance
But
of
you-
leveling up down the line.
All now find yourselves awake. The door behind you is closed. The Thule has tested it and knows that it could open, and you could just return to this space beyond if you wish. You also see that there is this hallway, this long corridor of stone that is just shrouded in shadows, except for the dim, flickering blue light that enters the sort of threshold.
All right, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Also, I go first and cast light on my shield, unless anybody else feels like going first.
Hold on.
Me have excellent dark vision. Let me not think me should be in front anymore.
Well, actually, it seems like the infrastructure still allows for lots of plumbing and powered spaces.
What does that mean?
Ober City was known to be technologically advanced since the Minotaur were going against their natural instinct, which also meant delving more into technologies and crafts that were typically outside of Minotaur culture at the time.
What does that mean for us now?
Oh, it means that they have a vast plumbing system that still seems to be functional, probably throughout the entire temple, as well as well-lit spaces and natural heating elements.
Totally.
The whole area seems to be powered by a deep water spring.
Do you need to use the bathroom?
I think it's
Not
more...
at the current moment.
Me glad it an option then.
I honestly think we just have to walk straight.
Hold on. Let me try something first.
No.
Well, I guess what I meant to say was that this sort of power, even though it is just seemingly doing the plumbing and heating right now, there is the capability of powering other technological marvels. I've heard of automaton that exist. I don't know if there are any in this city, but or in this temple. It seems like this was more of a religious site outside of the city proper. But it could have some natural fortifications.
I start walking.
Yeah, I just think we have to go straight. And if I may say so, I think Donkey should go first.
And then I walk into one of the doors that are closed.
No,
Okay.
no, the
You
hallway.
watch as Grim Goblins
No.
bam! Straight face into it. Nothing about the door changes, but Grimgob's nose sure does.
Puff rushes over and grabs on with a claw and tries to pull the cloak to the side. The long. Oh, sorry.
I was just, as she says, Tonki should go first. Tonki looks to Tuli and she's like, we know we weren't expecting to find this, but it turned out this is an important place for me. We want to see it. I'm sorry that the truth, but it is the truth.
No one has paid respect to the first pilgrim in a long time looking at these.
She was mostly
I'm
talking
happy.
to Tuli because I think she could tell that you don't want to go in there.
No, Tuli doesn't not want to go in there.
Or what was all that about then?
Heads up, we might drown. Or heads up, there might be robots.
Oh, like more of a heads up
Yeah.
than this is
Yeah.
a reason not to go?
Yeah, like,
I
heads
misunderstood.
up.
I'm
My
sorry.
Pokedex says
This
these
place,
are the Pokemon.
even
I
though
gotcha,
this
I gotcha.
place,
Okay.
although this
Professor Oak.
place has been closed off for thousands of years, it's still very much active.
Also,
Okay.
Tuli
I
might need to use
misunderstood
the
what you were
bathroom.
trying
That's-
to
He keeps talking about the plumbing. I think he needs to go.
She still says it, but this time she's not apologetic. She's just like,
I think as a
looking
I
forward
think it's
to
really
this.
cool.
I think as a devotee, and also the fact that Tonki's really good at just walking through walls. The Minotaur on its path through the maze on the door just went straight down a really long hallway, and that's a really long hallway. So if Tonki just went down this really long hallway, we'll eventually come to a dead end, and you just have to go right through it.
Well, if we're following the... Yeah, he did go through walls. It didn't work for this wall, but there might be a wall later. I heard a little bit. But you said
I feel
the
like
first...
that's a bit literal.
Importantly,
The path is important. And you said the first thing was like a wooden palisade, right?
No, the first thing was a wall, and we went through a wall, and then 2 closed eyes where we rested, and then it's a very long hallway,
But if
and then the dead
that's
end.
the path
I
that
think
we
the first-
expect because it's the path that it showed us,
Oh,
then
no.
isn't that the path that we shouldn't take because then we wouldn't expect it?
Smoke starts to come out of Tonki's ears. She's like, "Mm."
I think the first thing was actually a wooden palisade. Do I have that right, Joe?
Yes, that was basically a wall, and then it was like a symbol of a wall,
But
and then
that's
2
the
closed
path
eyes.
that they would expect us to take.
I don't know.
Who's
if that-
they?
The temple.
I see.
Importantly, we're going to be facing fears, so we'll probably come across some obvious obstacle that is some level of bad news. So,
Bears.
I didn't think about that. You're
Bears
right.
are bad news.
They are bad news.
And donkeys, apparently.
Any
No,
bears
just that
would
day.
exist
We're fine
down
now.
here.
Oh, what should we watch out for today?
I actually don't know.
All right. Tonki, if you like,
Opening
I can
doors.
follow you
No, go through the opening doors.
or be right in front of you to help protect you in the hallway.
Me not need protecting, but if me encounter anything like ambush, me not gonna point it out next time. But me grateful for
Maybe
company.
point it out quietly to us.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, here we go.
Follow.
Tonki, you step into this corridor. And the second that you peer in, you hear whispered from the darkness of this place. And you can see this is just a 60-foot long hallway. It goes down and down and down. At the very, very far end of this, you can see what looks like just a dead end. But you hear coming from somewhere. It's that stupid Goliath.
No.
And you can hear another whisper. If we're really quiet, we can slit their throats from behind.
Okay, so she stops and she's like, "Me just heard people talking about slitting me throat."
That's not very nice.
Did we
Me
hear
no.
this?
No.
Yeah.
We
Me
did.
heard it. Me not sure if it part of mental challenge of this maze or if there's someone waiting to slit our throat.
Nora puts a hand on Tonki and just guidance, but doesn't say the word guidance, just casts a spell and says,
Tonki.
I think it's okay. I think it's just part of the hallway.
Do I think it's part of the hallway?
Tonki, make an insight check.
I get advantage on insight checks.
And you have guidance.
And I have guidance.
I had to throw it up.
Use that guidance.
What language was
We didn't
the
hear
warning
it.
in?
Oh, Jesus. 7.
Goblin,
Oh, wait, no, sorry.
It wasn't Goblin.
10.
10. And you didn't hear it.
I know. I was just Ralph aloud will ask what
Tonki,
language
with that
was the
10, you turn
was
around.
Fredden. Yeah.
You hear the voices again. Wait, I think she sees us. Freeze! And now they're hiding. You're not sure if this is part of the hallway, but they seem to be responding to you. They're aware of you.
Did I, recognize the voices at all? Childhood bullies or anything like that? She's trying
No.
to figure out if the halls are messing with her.
It feels, with that insight check, hard to tell.
Yeah.
Tonki, what do you hear right now?
Me hear voices. They know where we are. They not like us. They want to slit throats.
How do they know us?
Me not know, but it's they call me Stupid Goliath, which is what most people who are new to the old Tonguester call me.
Total shit.
That all me know.
How do you feel right now?
Scared.
Keep going.
No one who would know us would be down here, and there's no one's been here for many years, I think.
Well, besides us, presumably, and if there are any automaton.
There is no one here but your friends.
Tonki, when fear's ahead, advance.
Yeah. Just be ready.
Okay.
We'll be ready.
She advances.
You advance. You step forwards, Tonki. You can hear him say,
All right,
we'll get them all. As soon as she goes, kill all of her friends. You take another step forwards, and you can hear them say, then she'll be stupid and alone, and no one will love her.
Damn.
And you take another step forward. Halfway through this hall, these voices get meaner. They make you feel more isolated. But Tonki, more and more as your allies tell you that this, when you hear something that you are afraid of advance, you become more sure that this is what you're supposed to do. And Tonki, as you reach the end of this hallway, the edge of the wall disappears.
Oh.
And you can see through this, on the other side, a circular chamber of stone. The air here is old and dry, and in the middle of it stands a colossal stone minotaur. Its eyes are closed, one hand points to the left, one points towards its chest, in a very saintly-looking pose. And around the walls, in each corner of this space, there are 4 alcoves. Each contains a little scene, though in the darkness here hard to tell exactly what that is. But you stand now on the precipice of this large circular room. For the rest of you, Tonki just disappears into the dark.
So we have to follow her through, right?
I don't want to let her go alone, but
We can't let her go alone.
Attempt to walk through.
Nora, you walk in, and the moment that you do, you hear Ralph scream.
What's wrong?
I'm fine.
What you hear?
Can
Wait,
Tonki
are
hear us?
we're in the same space now, right?
You're now all the way on the far side of this hallway. You can hear Tonki's voice kind of like rumble down this space, and that almost overwhelms the sound, the echo of Ralph screaming. And that kind of jars you back to reality again.
Okay. This is a bad tunnel. Nora walks forward.
You take another step forwards. You can hear Ralph call out, "Don't leave me." You take another step forwards, and you can hear another voice, a familiar voice to you. "This was all your fault." But you take another step forwards, and the wall disappears, and you see Tonki just standing there, kind of looking at the space in awe.
Nora's got red eyes.
Damn, you've been
You okay?
spoken down.
That's a bad tunnel.
Yeah. You hear bullies too?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we keep each other safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ralph coming or
I
what
hope
about
so.
I
Grimmy,
guess it's my turn.
Tuli?
Ralph
Do we
will
have
go
to
down.
go single file?
I mean, yeah, it's a narrow hall, but you don't have to go down one by one like this.
I thought we were all following Tonki down.
Yeah, I also like
assumed
wanted
that.
to go down.
So as a
so-
group now, after Tonki goes, the rest of you go. Nora, you hear the screams of your allies. For you, Ralph, you can hear the stones beginning to creak and collapse in on you. For you, Grimgob, you can hear as you step forwards the sounds of other goblins laughing at you. Laughing at how small you are, how inferior you are, how there is no chance that you will ever have any semblance of power. And for you, Tuli, as soon as you step in, you hear loud the sound of a charging beast just bearing down on you. But all of this is just illusion. And as you walk forwards towards the sphere, it fades behind you, and you all enter the circular chamber of this large minotaur. All of you join Tonki on the edge of this space, and because it is 8:41 and a good place for us to take a break, as you stand on the precipice of the chamber of the Horned King, this is where we will step away for a quick break. There is a countdown on your screen, and we will be back at the end of it. We'll see you then.
To the right.
Aww.
The break if you did. If not, we are playing D&D, and now you're a part of it.
Welcome!
We left off with all of you traversing through this hallway and entering a circular chamber of stone with this cold and dry air. You can see a colossal stone minotaur with its eyes closed in the center of this space. One hand points to the left, one points towards its chest in a very saintly pose. You can see 4 alcoves along the walls. If this was a square, it would be in the corners. each seems to contain a different little scene carved in relief. The dust coats the floor here. There is cobwebs here. Once more, a place that has not been visited in some time.
Ralph, what are all these scenes? You've got the light.
Like,
You take the light, you hold it up, and as light kind of fills this space, you can see on the northeast corner there is a minotaur who is depicted fighting a hydra, the multiple heads kind of closing around it. In the southeast corner, you see what looks like a minotaur in robes. You've kind of seen this minotaur depicted as like a pilgrim across this space, as statues, as carvings and depictions. So this pilgrim minotaur walking into a dark hall. In the southwest, you see a minotaur with a beautiful crown upon their head. And they are approaching what looks like maybe a rival minotaur, also in this very regal-looking armor. And then in the northwest corner, you see a young minotaur approaching a massive, what looks like a bull from myth, like a huge, too large creature that is like a bull of the gods.
And which is the one that the statue is pointing towards?
The statue points to the left, kind of between the north and southwest corners.
Tonky is looking in awe at all of it. Slapjawed.
Open your jaw, you look around.
From which did we enter?
You entered from, give me 1 second here. You're entering this from the south.
Okay.
So immediately to your left, you can see the Minotaur approaching the ruler. Immediately to your right, you can see this Minotaur kind of on the precipice of this dark corridor.
Tonky, do you know any stories about the Pilgrim?
Any stories about the Pilgrim? I must, right?
Given like everything you've heard, yeah, you can like remember a couple of different like heroic adventures, but what you're seeing here, this is not the Minotaur saint that you're thinking of. These are sort of like generic Minotaur. What you are seeing is depictions of things that Minotaurs should do. Sort of an idealized, this is your
Fight for glory, fight for honor.
exactly
Like stereotypes.
Wow,
Nice catch.
nice.
Great bug.
Yeah, I hope we can see that on camera.
Okay.
So Tonky's like, oh, these not stories about Pilgrim. These just like, oh, you Minotaur, you do this, you make sure you act this way. Like
Parables.
stereotype. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
What parables? Me not know that word. You made that one up. Me
Stories.
think stereotype.
Make a
Joe,
history check as you think about this.
Also,
Joe,
Julie got my thing.
Did you
Yeah.
use that from your calendar, Tonky?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
there's no exits to this room. Am I?
None.
Okay, it's just statue pointing to southwest corner, portraits all
Statue
around the
pointing
release on the.
straight to the left, kind of between the two corners, just on a blank wall. And then you're seeing in the sort of corners of the room these four scenes. There's no doors, there's no stairs. The ceiling itself seems relatively flat. There's no inscriptions like you have seen in many of the other chambers here.
Okay.
17 on the history check.
With a 17, what you are looking at is a common depiction in Minotaur mythos. These are figures moving towards a source of their fear. And as you kind of think about that, you look at this central sort of Minotaur statue, and similar to what Kara had said, you feel as if this statue seems to hold some kind of a key to moving beyond. But if that were true, given what you know about Minotaurs, you likely need to approach this statue to find out a little bit more.
So Tonky goes, this show those Minotaurs doing what we had to do, facing fear at the whole point of this temple. And me think what was the last piece you said?
You imagine that probably the Minotaur itself does hold the key to progressing further. You would need to get closer to probably see more.
Me think you gotta get closer. Me gonna just walk up, take a look, investigate, things me always do, and I'm gonna walk up with guidance.
And
Make an
Nora
investigation check.
comes up with her to
Okay.
also look.
The two of you approach the statue.
Do I get my thing on this? Probably not.
You do not.
Investigation.
Can I also make an investigation?
Yes, you can.
I got a 16
Okay.
against all odds.
And with a 16, against all odds, you do note something very important about the statue. There is dust across most of this, but around the elbows of this statue, there are little lines of cleanliness. These arms move.
Does a 22 get me more?
With a 22, it certainly does. You can see very dimly lit, kind of with the light that Ralph casts from their spell. There is a place on the chest where each of these pointed fingers could come to a rest. Very naturally, almost carved as if they were meant to do that.
Oh, we might have to move something.
Right now, you said the statue's doing this essentially,
Yeah,
right?
exactly that. You're pointing to the right, but yeah. Reverse the arms.
Well, I'm pointing to the right, but you said it was pointing to our left or its left?
To its left.
It's left, our right.
So we're coming... Okay.
So,
Does the directions matter in this room? The cardinal direction?
You imagine probably not.
Okay, alright then.
so we should probably get the two hands to point in again.
Can we just literally move the arm?
Tonki's already got her hands poised, not touching it, but poised around. And Tonki's just tell me where it should be pointing.
See that little divot? Try that, but do it gently. Don't break it.
Given
What divot?
that
Look right there.
we went
She
through a
points out the
hall
little
that
divot.
showed us
There
all
seems to be
some
divots in the
fear,
chest
Sure.
to see if they rest naturally.
some sort of
Ah.
holy magical influence or something that affected us, right? And now we're seeing these alcoves, no exit.
Correct.
We've entered probably what would be the central atrium of this temple, it seems. So whatever is in this room may have some similar holy effect, presumably. Is there some sort of signs of a ritual
Make an
having
Arcana
taken
check.
place in this room or anything?
Make an
Like
Arcana check, absolutely.
I don't want
a
to do that.
function, as it were?
If Ralph seems like she's approving, then Tonki will start to move the arms so that they do the
Give me
yeah.
one moment and
But
let me
maybe let's
see
resolve this
Tuli's
first.
check.
What's this a check for?
14.
Arcana looking for signs of rituals. As you look around the space, no, and in fact, Tuli, what you do notice is there is no signs of rituals, no signs of altars or platforms. This is not largely a functional room. These alcoves are very decorative. They're beautiful, very nice carvings. But aside from that, and then you hear the sound of shifting stone as Tonki takes the arm and has it join the partner. Now the statue, both hands pointing it. And as that happens, Tonki, this statue opens its eyes. And the tiles on the floor directly beneath your feet depress slightly.
Is this good or bad?
Well, this is good because
The
that was...
stone tiles slide. Tonki, you have to step back,
Oh.
but it reveals a stairway that winds down. beneath
Remember when the figurine
statue.
went in a spiral downward? That's probably where we are.
Good. Okay, great. I'm glad that worked.
Right,
Eyes.
the greatest fears within.
And Tuli, in this brief moment, you do see
Secrets I'll think about this.
this illusionary magic shimmer on the ceiling in these linear paths that suggest that had these arms been aligned incorrectly, something likely would have swung down from above. And there is an illusion hiding what that is.
Now that I know that, can I see through the illusion?
You look, and knowing that this is an illusion, you can see that there are several horn-shaped stone pendulums that would swing down from the ceiling, each of which probably about the size of Grimgob.
my.
They're huge and would likely deal a tremendous amount of damage and
Grimgob's
knock
huge.
you across the
That's what I heard.
I'm glad that
You
everyone's
can see
listening to me.
a spiraling stone staircase, quite wide. Tonki, one of the very few staircases that you would not feel kind of crunched into. The air tastes of dust that kind of out of the staircase. You can see that dust has settled on the stairs in thick sheets and has kind of risen up as they continue to down into the darkness.
Should we give it a second for the dust to settle? Bless you.
Puff sneezes.
Ralph still reflexively says bless you to Puff.
The dust settles.
Tonki's like, okay, we go down the stairs now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be careful. Dust can get slippery.
Does Tully look like he wants to say something?
No, just still like looking at shit. Cause...
Tully, what are you looking at?
You want to wait a minute,
well-
Tully?
Oh well.
Good thing we didn't mess that up.
Activating the statue could have gone wrong, and it's strange that if this were a temple, it's not really temple-y.
I think this might be a trial.
Right.
Facing your fears. That's what it's all about. That's the point.
Nora
It's
points,
definitely...
Right.
Nora points at the picture of like the Minotaur facing off against the Hydra. I also think culturally it might be a Minotaur temple. I just think that maybe their temples are a little bit more extreme.
Yeah.
Minotaurs love fighting. Obviously, it would be the Minotaurs I know would think it great honor to travel through all these challenges.
What I'm saying is, for a place that is like the place that you all just described, I have not felt much fear.
We're also not Minotaurs.
You've shown the most hesitancy in coming in here.
It's not really a hesitancy so much as just, again, a caution. That could have killed me. Or any of us, really.
I was gonna say, Tonki's like, but we thought about it. We followed your advice, Tuli. We made sure path we took was sensible.
I'm not arguing with anyone. I'm just saying that...
I don't think
Totally.
anyone trying to argue with you either. Are we fighting?
No! It seems
Roll
like
for
I'm
We thought we were just
trying
chatting.
to...
Are you just telling us to be careful?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just...
Donkey, you are the one at the front of this group. Are you making your way downstairs? Mm-hmm. Okay. Down the steps of this space, there is another circular room filled with this even dirtier, staler air. In the center of this place, draped in dust and cobwebs, is a brass minotaur statue, 2 feet high. It stands proud, imposing, even though it is slightly shorter than Grimgob.
Nora's about to exclaim at how little it is and just sees like the equivalency in height and
Yes,
says
certainly.
nothing.
You dodge a bullet. At the end of this sort of room, you can see along the right-hand wall, there is a steel statue, kind of gleaming even beneath the dust, of a Minotaur knight. And that is all that is within this room that you can easily see. The floor heavily coated in dust.
Are there any disturbances to the dust anywhere, or like old footprints or anything like that, or is it all just...
It's like perfect. It looks almost like freshly fallen snow. It's so thick and perfect.
Tonki tiptoes from now on, so as not to disturb it.
Should I clean up the dust?
If you can, that's kind of gross.
I'll prestidigitate like a little area. Does this kind of seem to clean it?
The dust displaces in a cloud, revealing a maze carved upon the floor.
Oh,
That's good. Important.
Wow.
Is it the maze? Like
This
the one-
room is like 60 feet around. You again and again clearing spaces. And this maze looks very similar to the one that was on the doors. Though there is no symbols here.
Are we at the same spot we would have been if we were outside the temple at the door?
You are.
Oh, we just have to maybe follow our path through.
This if
It
you
looked like
forget
you were,
the maze.
when you said you were taking notes, were you like writing down notes?
You have, you took
Right.
down whatever it is that you wanted to.
I took down like as accurate a representation of the path through the maze as Nora could with a natural 20.
Yep, and it's a very, very good representation. It's an intricate maze, but you feel pretty confident, even without it fully kind of transcribed, that you can accurately recall the pathways there.
So I think we can just follow that, because that's the way the Pilgrim took to get through the maze.
Are there any signs of like abrasions or anything that would light the room more, or does it
Make a
seem-
perception check. So far, no. It looks to be a pretty flat room, save these two figures.
Is the room lit?
It is not. It's dark here.
14.
With the 14, you look, you don't see any signs of braziers, but you do see signs of writing. Do you read Infernal?
Yes.
You can see kind of written along what is sort of like the walls of this maze. The dark lines carved suddenly kind of break into Infernal script as part of the wall. And it says, "The faithful do not flee."
The walls say the faithful do not flee. Tonki, you have really good dark vision, right?
Tonki can see straight to the other side of this room.
Is there anything else written on the walls?
Is there anything else written on the wall?
Not written on the walls, but the walls of the maze on the floor. So, like, it is like those dark lines that are kind of carved suddenly become carvings of, like, the word and then continue as, like, the wall.
Okay.
But because of the dust on the floor, you can't really see if there is other inscriptions. Grimgob could kind of just walk around the periphery, just blasting prestidigitations to uncover more of the maze.
I don't have a gust spell.
Yeah, so I'm gonna clean the whole room. I'm not sure if we need to stay within the maze or if it's dangerous to not obey the maze on the floor. What do we think?
Maybe if we go around the edge and not step in the maze, it won't start any.
There is like a foot-wide border around that you can safely walk in without crossing the lines.
Alright, that's a good idea. And I will play janitor.
Grimgob starts walking around.
Goblin.
Dust just away. The center of the room kind of slowly builds a little bit more of a mound-like shape, but you do clear the kind of periphery. And every now and then there is infernal script that says things like, "The beast is not your enemy, and the journey ends at the king."
I don't like that.
You see the same entrances that you had marked on that door, the same three entrances on the north, west, and east sides. And you make your way over to the night. You pull the dust away from it. It gleams in the darkness here. It's a little shorter than you.
Nora shows everyone the notes that she took of the maze, including like the diagram. Maybe if we follow the path? What do all of you think?
The knight's in the middle, right? Of the room.
No, the night's kind of off on the periphery of the room.
Which direction? Cardinal.
On the eastern side.
Okay.
Knight like K and
Yeah, K-N-I. It's a Minotaur knight.
I think I like that idea.
The
Noah.
bronze one?
No, this one's made out of steel.
Oh, the steel one is.
The bronze
east.
one is a... Give me 1 second here. Sorry, brass Minotaur
Brass,
statue
okay.
in the middle. It is standing proud. It looks like it has a little crown upon its head.
So the brass
minute.
one is in the middle, the steel one's on the edge.
Correct.
Okay.
I think, and then I'm gonna make myself twice as strong and see if I can like pick up the statue.
Okay. I think that's not how it works. I think you have to make the statue twice as light because it's a density adjustment, right?
You
Yeah, I
also
can
have
either
your
increase my
strong.
strength or
Oh,
make it
okay,
light,
okay.
or
I
make
didn't
I can
realize
I can make myself twice as
Scientifically,
strong,
yes.
or make it half as light.
Gotcha.
I'll do it the other way.
So you...
Those felt like the same result to me.
Yeah, it's ultimately the same thing. You
And-
create the ability for you to move this thing. And you lift it up. It's still pretty heavy for you, but you carry it in your arms.
And I walk over to the group to like the south entrance. I'm like, I think we'll need this to like open it first, and I put it down at the south,
You put it down at the
where the
south
south entrance was first.
No problem, you do.
Does anything happen?
No?
You need me carry that thing?
I think so. Yeah.
She just picks
Is
it up
that
and
the-
she's like,
I
okay,
think we
ready?
I think we gotta take it with us, right?
which one is that?
Which one is
It's there's only one statue, right?
There's two statues.
Oh, there's two.
A
There's
I keep saying bronze. A brass
sorry.
minotaur in the center with a crown. And there is a steel one, the one that you picked up on the edge of this maze, that you have picked up and now brought over to the south and placed down.
Yeah. So, just like the door puzzle, there was like a minotaur in the middle, and this is the minotaur at the end. I think we need to bring this one to the middle. I mean,
Well, that
Can
didn't
it be that
work
simple?
to open the maze.
what?
I tried to put the figurine in the middle, and it didn't work.
Yeah, it worked when I put it in the south.
Oh, it's in the south now, and nothing's changed.
I think maybe we have to carry it with us to the middle?
Are these representative of similar generic Minotaur iconography, or
They
are
seem to be
these
kind of like flat features.
Okay, so this is like more archetypes.
Yeah, very much archetypes is a way to look at it. You're looking at the king and the knight, both minotaurs.
I mean,
So-
it's the same color as the small one that we had at the door that we could move around. So,
Is
I don't
it
know.
the same, like, stylistic representation?
Yes.
Well, maybe we just leave it here if we're just... But why would we repeat the whole journey again?
This is
That's a good question.
identical. Are there? You said there were some differences to this labyrinth.
The only difference is that the paths connect here, so you can see places where you could follow a complete journey to the center.
Gotcha.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but aside
it's-
from that, very similar layout. There's just gaps in some of the walls where there weren't.
Question.
Yeah.
The minotaur that we first saw on the door to come in was the Pilgrim, which was a hooded figure holding a lantern.
Correct.
This is a knight. A complete.
On the outside, it is a knight. On the inside, it is like a king.
Yeah, but the one that we picked up and put at the south is a knight figure.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't think this is the same. I don't think this is the Pilgrim. I think we're taking the
Yeah.
Pilgrim's path.
Oh,
I'm trying to figure
makes
out
sense.
what these are
I'll put it back.
representative of. Given
Did you say
you
that
hear
the words
Ralph
that you
say
saw?
Those things, that seems to ring true.
it was an Inferno,
That is-
right? The words
Yes.
around. I can't read that.
Ralph will go around and read the Infernal.
But
So Ralph
Tonki could
translates
see
that
all
for you.
from, right? So.
Tonki doesn't read Infernal.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Taki barely reads common.
But
Very good at goblin.
if it were giant, it might be different, but it's not.
So it's basically like face your fears, don't fear the beast.
The faithful do not flee. The beast is not your enemy. The journey ends at the king.
Okay. So it sounds like we have to make it to the king, and the beast is not your enemy. So the beast could either be a literal beast, could be the knight. I don't know if the Minotaur would call another Minotaur knight a beast. And also, they don't flee. So I think once we start the journey, we need to push forward. We probably don't want to turn back.
the king statue, is that one fixed in place, or is it similarly movable?
As far as you can tell from this distance, like 30 feet away in the center of, 20 feet away in the center of the space, it looks like it's kind of fixed in that space, but if you got closer, you could do an investigation check.
Yeah, none of us has like entered the maze. We're all just like around the edge.
Right.
And it's dark, so Tonki's really the only one that has a very good view of like most of this. For the rest of you, as you walk around the edges, with your more limited dark vision, you could see.
Yeah. The knight originally was at the east entrance?
Correct.
And that was the wealth entrance?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
which
I don't
is
know if
weird
that's
because
But
the north entrance was the one with the depictions of knights. Am I remembering that correctly?
the north was like the depictions of castles.
Walls, shelters, defenders.
And knights, you said?
There
maybe
was,
you
there was
said
defenders.
Defenders? Okay, never mind.
All right. So, who wants to begin the journey, I suppose?
We would like to begin the journey.
Okay. And Nora hands Tonki her, like, diagram.
Okay.
And Tonki read a diagram.
You can look at the diagram, you could look at the floor, and you could see that they're the same. And so if you want, you can follow the line that Nora has laid out along this path.
But is there an entrance here at the south?
There is not.
Okay.
So you'd be walking over one of these lines.
We have to go through the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, me ready. Step.
I have healing.
You
ready.
step across. Tonki, as you cross this line, nothing happens.
Oh. Okay, guys, it's safe.
I follow.
Nothing happens. You step onto this floor, what is almost certainly very much a depiction of a maze, similar to the ones that you've seen in the past. The maze itself, as you stand on it, doesn't seem to react. You can walk freely about this space.
Oh.
So you cross. Tonki, you walk over to the center of the room. You approach this statue. Are you bringing the other one with you?
Unless anyone has told me to put it down, I'm carrying it because that's what I said I would do.
Nora would assume you put it down.
Okay, as if someone told her, "Oh, put that down before you go," like
reasonable way
what is
that
that?
it could be
Make a kiss.
determined that this knight representation could somehow be depicting the beast.
Make an insight check.
I mean,
I didn't hear the
Carrying
question.
If this,
Given the cultural sort of like reverse Uno cards that you have to think about here, could it be that the beast is referencing the knight?
yeah, like the knight statue. But that's not going to work. That's
Hard
a
to
knight.
tell. Hard to tell. You had heard your allies speaking about it, and just like them, you don't know. But Tonki, you do carry the statue?
No, I think I put it down because
Would
Kara
Tulia
said Nora would have.
voice that thought?
Probably not.
Okay, so I think
Ralph
we should.
earlier mentioned, I don't if she did think she wasn't sure if the Minotaur would call her another Minotaur Knight of Beast.
So Nora would think to put the statue down.
Me bring it or no bring it? Okay, Nora, put it down. Now we go.
I think we should take it with us, but we can always come back.
You make your way to the center of this maze. And as you reach this statue, you do, in fact, reach it. And nothing changes. You look at this kind of archetype of a Minotaur king.
Is it similarly movable, or is
Make
it
an investigation check.
space?
Can I help?
Yeah. Make it at advantage with Grimgrub's help.
No, look at that over there. That's where the hinges will be.
The first one was good, but the second one was woof.
Grimgrub helped you. You're like, wait, is that something? And then Grimgrub just steps right into your face.
It's holding the flashlight.
Yeah, basically.
I'm trying to help, but
23.
my vantage point is very different than yours.
With a 23, this is not movable in the same way, though you can feel a slight draft rising from cracks in the stone. You imagine this whole statue probably shifts aside to reveal something beneath it, but the statue itself doesn't move.
So is it part of some mechanical
It seems to be.
function
You've
within
spoken
it?
about the mechanisms of this city, and that seems to be something maybe at play here.
So do we need to place this piece that we do have in a correct spot? Probably respective to the central one
That feels pretty...
in order to unlock it, and it ends at the king, right?
Truly, you look in this room and there are but two movable things, both of them statues, and so yeah, it links that they would be connected in some way relevant to each other, or relative to each other.
I walk straight back.
You walk straight
Like,
back.
not following the path, but just straight south.
You straight
to the
fucked
sta-
that path up and not
Hell yeah.
So I guess given all of that I've kind of pieced together, I want to try to find out where this knight statue is supposed to be in order to, like, unlock whatever this mechanism.
Make an Arcana, Nature, or Survival check, your choice.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Alright, I'm pretty sure we need to use this, guys. Do we want to...
Nice.
With a natural 20, you are looking at something that at their exterior are certainly made out of brass and steel, but you're not so sure about the middle.
It's a soft, gooey center.
It is not a soft, gooey center. You had kind of marveled at the statue that had stuck to the door as if by magic. And it's not quite magic, and it's not quite magnetism, but something about the cores of these statues seem to be responsive to each other. As you kind of think this, Grimgob, you pick up this statue.
Trace the path on the door or find a different path that makes sense in this maze? Decision?
Wait, what?
Maybe they just need to...
Just bring it over here.
And follow the path from the door.
Or just bring it over here.
So they tell you to do both those things.
Alright. I walk over the line with the statue from the south entrance.
You
That's right.
cross this line, and Grimgob, your feet carry you across this space. Your hands carry the statue across this space,
Damn.
and both of you arrive unharmed.
So I'm pretty sure the labyrinth part is just a motif.
And certainly, as you cross this space, this is very decorative. the labyrinth. It is.
No, I pay respect.
No
I
worries.
follow the
No
path.
Truly, it's this moment that you're realizing that
Like
in the same way that like there are like the Disney Magic Kingdom is used as like an icon for a lot of places, that very important maze is probably reused and repeated as a motif across this space.
Yes.
This is very familiar.
So I follow
This
the
is-
maze. Do you say anything?
I'm like, no.
Nora would like just be
I
like, it's
laugh.
religious, it's important.
And as you get to within a foot, this statue,
Don't be disrespectful. I'm paying respects to the first pilgrim.
this statue,
Yeah.
and just sticks to
Kiss.
the king. They kiss,
I was saying!
No!
and the statue slides backwards. The floor splits open, and you can see that there is a stairway. This is the source of that cold wind. You can see a set of stairs that goes down to almost a like letdown for how small the chamber is below. Very tall ceiling, but very, very small in circumference. You can see down the stairs the whole of this space. You can see at the center a stone bowl. Little coals have been kind of extinguished. At one point, maybe fire is burned here. You can see murals, very simple, ancient murals, that depict fearless Minotaur heroes battling various monsters, heading towards danger, always advancing, never retreating. And you can see, most prominent in this space, hanging from a heavy bronze chain, is the preserved horns of a massive Minotaur. These horns almost glow in the darkness in this space and shed dim light across this cavern. The chain itself also glows with an even brighter light. This, Tonki, as you look at it, you are almost certain, based on the size, from what you have heard, that these are the horns of Karos.
Oh, these the horns of Karos. Look, you guys see?
That's pretty fucking cool.
And she makes some sort of reverential gesture that she perhaps picked up from the Minotaurs.
No problem.
You know they have like a
Imagining,
bow in
like,
the dojo,
like
right?
this thing, but
You said it, when I thought reverential gestures, the only thing that came to mind was this. Sure, no.
Sure, derogatory. No, John, don't do that. We don't do that anymore.
So absolutely, you make her a sign of respect in this place. In this sort of space, too, Tonki, you can see in front of you there is this chain that holds these horns aloft. It is about 4 feet long. It is cast of heavy bronze, and there is something certainly magical about them.
does it seem like there is also a puzzle to this room to progress, or does it seem like this is like the goal of the...
Make an insight check.
Advantage on insight checks, natural 20!
Yeah!
With a natural 20, you have reached the place where the remains of Karos have been laid. This set of horns, the closest thing to a body that has ever been found. And so, for all the people who, like Elvis, whisper that Karos is still alive in Calcaeus, they're not. They have passed beyond this mortal coil, and their soul likely resides within the gemmed oasis, where all heroes go to rest. But this place, almost like a reliquary or like a tomb honoring this person, the chain itself, magical, and almost certainly a belonging of Karos's. This is the heart of this place. This is what everything that you have traversed through has been designed to protect. Thule had mentioned constructs and advanced technology, and that might exist elsewhere within Obra. But here, before the Minotaur had turned away from their more wild nature, this is a place that is more responsive to that. And you are looking at a place that is meant to be a place of very quiet respect.
She remains in quiet respect.
I pee. Just kidding.
Oh, there's a bathroom on this level.
The chains, though, while I nudge Grimmy, and I'm like, and then
Okay.
I think they're for you. Donkey.
what?
Tonki, every single scene that you have seen here has had Minotaurs advancing, fighting monsters, always towards danger. And you look now at something that is magical, that was owned by one of the greatest adventurers in all of Minotaur kind. This is not meant to sit in a cave.
You're gonna be a little less quiet and reverential now. She's gonna go forward and just like,
As a Minotaur would.
You take this chain. The horns you kind of gently lower onto the stone sort of plinth that is beneath them, and you pick up the Pilgrim's chain. This feels magic in your hands, and you imagine that when you attune to it, there are probably some advantages that come. But in the meantime, Tonki, in your mighty grip, this could likely at the very minimum still serve as a whip.
nice.
Good God.
For those of you who have not used whips in 5e, they extend your reach by 5 feet. They deal only 1d4 damage by themselves, but perhaps there are ways to overcome that deficiency.
I had asked you if you wanted to do a cool whip. So good.
I was gonna do a ceremony, but then I realized that it has a component that
Yeah, it
costs
does.
cash. So, JK, guys, I'll just do a regular funeral, right?
It's an expensive bit at this level.
It is an expensive bit at this level, so
You do the quick version of last rites.
yeah.
You pull out your phone, you read off the last rites.
You have to wait for the YouTube ad to finish loading.
God damn it.
But you hold this chain, and I'll send you the stats once you've attuned for it. Excuse me. I had a little bit too much coffee, I think, and I'm having a little bit of heartburn.
Oh no. Agita.
You can also see that within this space on the far wall, there is kind of like a crumbling rock sort of structure. There is further kind of cool air that passes through here. And Tuli, with your last perception check, or nature check, this is the cool, crisp air of the Underdark. If you wanted to, you could probably, especially Tonki, could probably break through this wall, and you could navigate through the Underdark back around if you wanted to take a different path. But you have now traversed through this whole place. There is no enemies. There were certainly traps in some of these rooms that you definitely avoided, and you now know where they are, so traversing back the way you came might actually be a safer option.
How long has it been since we started going through the temple?
Including your rest, you probably traversed the entire temple in about an hour, so maybe 9.5 hours total.
Okay, so it's probably been like 10 hours since we entered the goblin encampment, or like druid spawn pools.
Yeah, probably about that long. And you would imagine that over the course of the time that you slept, the date changed from the 6th of the Claws of Storms to the 7th of the Claws of Storms.
Claws?
Claws.
Wasn't it the 15th of the Claws of Storm?
No, it's 1500 is the year.
Yeah,
Okay, 5th. and
I
then
have
6th.
the date.
there you go.
I was gonna say it could be like the clause, like
It is now a
clause of-
Saturday.
Like a
for those of
sentence
you
clause?
keeping track.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait, what were you saying?
So,
Clause of a contract.
Forgot.
Santa
yeah.
Claus.
Santa Claus.
Are you all making your way
Like a
back?
religious service.
I think at this point, Ralph would be like, listen, I think we should, as much as I love exploring, I think the Underdark might be a bit much, but our exit's still going to be a little bit hairy. Do we still want to try to figure out the Toad situation?
I think enough time's passed that they're at least not looking for us anymore.
Yeah, 9 hours is a long time for a search, so the heat probably died down a bit.
Yeah, and me have cool new chain in case we run into anyone. Me can just buff them and knock them unconscious.
I'm worried that the area that we had previously traversed has been repopulated, for lack of a better way of putting this. We're not.
Yeah, that's what eggs do.
We've established this. If we head back, we're either preparing for a fight or someone has to have the best cover story we've ever come up with. We've had mild ones at this point. Does anyone have a good idea for why we'd be coming out of the wall with a holy relic?
I don't think they'll see us come out of the wall, but they will see us eventually once we get closer to the pool.
Well, we had to, go through where they mudded up.
Yeah, that seemed like a bit, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a bit not where they are, on the other side of a very big cavern, right?
Yeah.
So, we'll probably be able to get out of the crack just fine, but...
And you had seen, other caverns kind of leading off from there. It took me a second. But from any part, you can see that there is this kind of potentially on the other side of this wall, a further path into the Underdark. You might be able to rejoin into that spawning pool cavern elsewhere, further away from where you entered. Maybe even further within. You had seen some, further along your route. So there are options that you could take, but similar to what Grimgob said, 10 hours is a pretty long time for people to be on super high alert.
I'm all for going back the way we came and just trying again.
Alright. That's fine with me. Anybody up for taking a break so we can learn how to use this thing? Anyone know how to identify it?
We need a pearl.
I'm imagining Tonki swinging the chain around like a teenager who's just gotten nunchucks.
Experimentally.
Just, hitting themselves in the shin. Man, I remember getting my first set of nunchucks, and I think I broke my nose.
Remy, you know how to tell what it... Maybe, And she's gonna scrunch up her brow real hard and do an Arcana check.
Okay. Make an Arcana check.
Can I also make an Arcana check as she's... I don't know, asked me to look at it?
Yeah, for sure.
The component is
7.
With the 7, this is a magical chain.
10.
Ugh.
This is a magical chain that can also be used as a weapon.
No, but if you want to if you focus on a little bit, put it like this, Karis will tell you what it will do.
Yeah, but we heard it take time.
It does take time.
A little nap.
This one's probably not cursed like the other.
About 59 minutes,
right? Given that it's in this.
And 59 seconds.
By now.
Relatively seeming holy ground.
Make an insight check.
I don't feel cursed or anything, do I?
Not
The
yet.
same, the way I did. Joe.
I mean,
Yet.
I feel like lessons
Give
should
it a
have been
hint, yeah.
learned, but
what lesson?
that's an 18.
Julie, you've been pretty on guard coming in here, but the longer that you have traversed through this place, the more that you have seen that this is not a place dangerous because it wants to hurt people. This really was. The more that you heard Ralph talk about this and Tonki talk about this was a test. This was a trial. And for somebody to claim this artifact, they would have needed to be strong and brave. And so not likely that they would then curse an item after having somebody prove themselves in such a way.
Right.
Really deeply fucked up.
You have to go through 3 of these temples.
In a main villain kind of way to do that. I love that as inspiration for some kind of a nemesis in the future, but no,
Okay.
this seems to be probably an okay thing.
If you want...
Oh,
go ahead.
So given that, this seems like more of an outlier of what we know about Obercity in general.
Yes.
Are there, I guess, we'd have to probably look other ways for any other indications of similarly enlightened areas.
Yes.
Just cast Legend Lore with the Javaris beads.
You just need your eyes, yeah.
Unless anyone tells her to stop, Tonki's gonna sit back in the reverential position
Nah.
and start attuning.
I was going to say, this is probably the safest place for you to even have a chance to look at it, so...
It feel like best place
Yeah.
under his watch. Oh, this is great.
Cuddle, cuddle,
I'm
cuddle.
going under diet.
Halfway through the phrase, I was like, no, but it was out.
So, this is the Pilgrim's Chain. And after an hour, you learn that this is a wondrous, rare item that requires attunement. It deals 1d4 damage and adds 5 feet of reach. But while attuned, you also gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed.
Ooh.
You have advantage on athletics checks to grapple.
Nice.
And
Ooh.
once per short rest, when you hit a creature with a melee attack using the Pilgrim's Chain as a whip, you may force it to make a strength save against 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your strength modifier. On a failure, they are grappled by you. And so this does not require a reaction or anything like that. This is really, if you should fail with a grapple, sort of a backup option that you can use.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
It also adds that 5 feet of reach, which is a nice bonus on top of that.
Get over here.
Very much. And best of all, there is no curse associated with it.
Yay.
Hell yeah.
During this 1 hour, I ritual cast comprehend languages.
Okay.
Oh, that's what it says.
You confirm. Ralph and Nora were not lying to you.
The 3 tieflings just look at you like, did you not see this?
No, I did. The spell lasts 8 hours, so just in case we find any other writing while we have the time.
Did anybody come up with a good story if we get caught?
We're here
Mia
for your
Pilgrim?
toads.
Oh.
Oh,
That's-
I
that's
mean, that's also, I think, relatively true now.
Meet Rendus, fair and square.
Wait, what was it?
Mia Pilgrim.
Mm.
That's what we say. Got our cover story. And it not even lie.
What? Back to the toads. What's your plan for freeing the toads?
We tell them that the toads don't like their current living situation, and we try and help them find a more equitable solution.
Also, from what you can tell, not a lie. The toads have not seemed... Well, I don't know if Tuli has let you guys know that the toads didn't seem super
he who grows
enthusiastic.
through grief says that the toads
Oh,
didn't like it.
Gotcha.
I did say, like...
Yeah.
Vincent knows that the goblin shift-shaping, that's a druid, right? So, like, would Grimgob know that?
Yeah.
It looks like they had some druids. They could probably talk to the toads. They probably already know that
You've
the
heard them,
toads don't
I
like
believe,
it.
referred to as toad speakers.
Yeah, they have toad
the
speakers.
toad speakers.
Yeah, they probably already know the toads don't like it, so I don't know if that's gonna work.
I think they were a little obtuse. At least the ones that we met back before.
And
I
there's-
don't know about these ones,
I
but
don't think those were toad speakers, were they? I thought they were
some
toad
of them were
riders.
toad singers.
Oh.
But
Either way, the druid
I
that
don't
we
think
saw.
they really listen to the toads. I think they just kind of talk at them.
You don't. So you don't think that? Okay, we can try it.
At the very least, we can always say that the spirit of Mythalstrean wants the toads to be happy.
So your
Yeah.
plan is to go in and say, your way of living is wrong, God says so.
While holding a relic. So clearly religious zealots.
We can light a bush on fire. It'll be great.
Hell yeah. Let's redo the Old Testament. I love that idea also as a potential mechanic, but neither here nor there. Are you making your way back?
If everyone else is going that way, Nora goes
Since I'm
along.
attuned, I'm like,
That's like, I don't think we don't want to go to Underdark.
Underdark, no.
You make your way back.
Agree with Grimgod's hesitancy, but I don't have any better ideas.
Yeah, me neither.
You retrace your steps, a little bit less cautious now that you know that many of these mazes kind of motifs more than mechanical mazes. You avoid the swinging traps that you know to be above that one doorway, and without any trouble, you can make your way back to that very restful room. Still feels calm, still quiet, with the doors shut, but Tuli, you know that pushing the doors will open them to the caverns beyond.
I cast mage armor.
We ready?
So what exactly are we doing?
We're gonna go tell them that the toads aren't happy and they should work to make a more equitable solution. And we can broker peace between toads and goblins.
What if we try talking to the toads first?
I can't talk to toads. You are the only one that can.
True.
What would be the purpose of that?
Well, I feel like we've been talking a lot about the toads without really considering the toads' agency in the whole thing, which is
the
kind of
equitable
the
solution bit.
well, that's also kind of the whole reason why they the lady who watches and waits,
She who's still trying.
yes, the many names, but why we were sort of tasked with it,
Yes.
so maybe we see what they want to
Yes,
do.
that's the plan. Because I can't talk to toads, and I also can't talk to goblins. But you can talk to goblins, apparently. And you can talk to the toads. So if we talk to each other and figure out what they both want, we can come together with a plan.
Right, but all I mean is it might be easier to talk to all of them if we first talk to the toads before alerting the goblins who might not be really
How do we
happy.
talk to the toads without alerting the goblins?
Well,
We're not a sneaky bunch.
No.
we can
We're kind of loud.
try to be sneaky.
They might not
Or
appreciate it.
maybe we can do a distraction.
How about we just go in and say, we're here?
Omi tried that. It does not work.
No, it worked. It ended us
Goblins
with us alive
seem
and all
to
of them
be
dead.
a bit jumpy and prone to aggression.
What are the...
Yeah, me took ballista in the chest. Me not know if you remember. It not big deal.
Well, we do know one person from the Meyerclaw Pact who's also familiar with the toads. And
Right.
if we maybe just quote the fact that we know a person who I definitely have in my notes
How
that I just have to flip
Malcrinch.
through. Thank you.
Malcrinch. How much interaction do the Meyer Claws have with different regional packs?
Well, Malcrinch is part of the toads.
Right, but how much do they know about the ones who are here breeding toads?
We have no idea.
Exactly.
More
But we could
importantly,
try it.
how quickly do you think a goblin can reconstruct a ballista?
Probably within 10 hours.
Especially given how junky these ballista are. It's not like they were in great shape to begin with.
They just
I don't
busted
know,
out
I-
one from the six-pack they bought.
I crushed that platform pretty good. And we wouldn't be going back that way anyways, because that's... We're here, this is the cavern, this is the ballista. So we'd be going this way.
Use a ballista from the ground,
Well,
though.
right.
And you
I
can
mean,
move ballista.
that's the only way we know out, and that's where we left our elks. So eventually, we'll probably head back that way.
Ballistai.
The elks behind.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I'm just saying the ballista is probably possibly reconstructed. I don't want a repeat of Tonki getting shot in the chest.
Yeah, me either.
I also don't want to be shot in the chest. I
Well,
can't take it as well as
ballistas are
Tonki can.
made of wood for the most
I could probably
part.
take one.
If we just
Ralph cast doubt.
if we encounter the ballista again, Grimgob can just throw some fire at it. That'll at least ruin the structure that it's made from.
I thought didn't I break the platform it was on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I broke the platform it was on. It'll take a while to fix that.
Yeah, but the ballista could still be functional and just be from the ground.
Alright.
And then it would be more dangerous for you than for Tonki.
So our plan is to find a toad and not get shot. How we
Yes,
that's kind of the structure of our entire plan.
that appears to be so,
Well,
yes.
Well, no, it's a start. Then you negotiate with the toad.
I feel like we don't know enough
I don't
about
think
what's
we can know
happening.
We sure
more
don't.
than what we can in this space.
I'm just gonna put this out there. What if we just get back on our elks and go get the Dirge Moon and then try a renegotiation after we have the artifact that everybody's after?
Don't
This-
think that's fair.
The spirit said Toad, Gem, Delta, Gabranja. We should probably do it in that order. Also, the elks might not leave if they think that we've not done enough for the toads.
And I feel like using the Dirge Moon in that kind of way, given what we know about it and how it's having some sort of effect on the ecology of the area, it might also have a negative effect on the person who uses it. And so if you use it seeking power, it might also corrupt.
I'm just saying it'll give us an air of authority that we don't currently have with the goblins.
Tuli, make an insight check.
We're sorkening, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also,
back.
once we remove the Dirge Moon, Toad will be much unhappy because not wet.
Dirty 20.
That's
our
an
angle.
interesting thing that you just said there, Tuli.
What thing?
Perhaps these powerful artifacts have an effect on the people who are using them. These immensely powerful objects are not at the forefront of powerful colleges like Grimgobs. They're not held by immense orders of paladins. They're kind of lost. And that does point to there potentially being a negative effect on those who hold them. Something to consider.
All right, just thought of something. If we tell the toads that we're going to make the basin less wet, maybe they'll be motivated to move out. Because it'll be a less habitable zone. Because it's not as wet anymore. I'm assuming that's important to toads.
Well, some species of toads. Some actually live in sand.
Do
You've
these
now
ones live in
made
sand?
your way to the doorway that will lead you to the spawn house.
Just find out what the toads want, inform them that it's gonna get less wet here, and broker peace.
For what it's worth, I don't trust the spirit. I'd be fine with not skipping out on these toads. But if you guys want to try to free the toads, we can do that.
I think it's going to help everyone in the basin, ultimately.
This is a rare moment, but I agree with Grimgob. Also because I don't think we have a very good plan, but I'm here.
It may help everyone, except it's not going to help the people that you're trying to convince to change their ways, the Mireclaw. Unless...
Well, not now, but generationally, probably.
The
And
benefits will trickle
right
down.
now, actually, depending on what the actual effects
Alright.
of this are, it could have a net positive.
I appreciate the credit that you're given, because I don't know if these goblins that you're going to talk to are going to think that far ahead.
That's the other thing is everything that you're saying might well be true,
Like, I'm not saying you're wrong.
but if you're dealing with the Republican Party, it's got to be tough to convince them.
That's true.
But at the end of the day, you're kind of convinced these goblins down here that you are taking away.
Well, no, that's why I said we should talk to the toads first. I feel like
I'm okay with that.
the toads are more likely to be willing to change the current status quo.
Maybe, like Bubbles, they just want better bugs.
How is Bubbles doing, by the way?
He's doing okay.
Okay.
How are we gonna find a
Wait.
toad that we can talk to?
I've been under the impression that the goblins are subjugating the toads. Are you... Is that not what everyone else thinks?
The goblins think that they're subjugating the toads, but the toads are really just going along with it because they don't really have much better to do, and they get fed.
Oh.
But they don't really like some of the
That's different.
stuff that the goblins do, like riding them, or mostly the riding them part.
Is that what they said?
That's what most of them kind of agreed, but I don't want to generalize.
So we're sneaking to find adult toads because we've seen druid toad and
Maybe
toad
Bubbles
egg.
can help us find a real toad.
Well, it was actually
Eggs are
kind of
still
funny.
real toads.
But we can talk to these.
They were
but they're
playing a
so
joke.
real.
I don't know if you saw, but we played a joke on them earlier. It was
On Bubbles?
well, they thought that it was some deep conversation, but really the toads were just like, "Watch this," and they all thought that it was some a holy ordeal.
Produce an
Can we
egg.
do one thing at a time? I'm sorry, I can't.
Sorry. Let's go. I got lost in toad druid eggs.
The eggs are real, man.
Alright. So,
if your goal is to stealth across this spawning pool, you can, as you kind of crack the door, you can perceive goblin voices. They're certainly still present here. Go ahead and as a group make a stealth check.
Can anybody help me be a little quieter?
Nope.
I do remember, though. I do remember a distinct smell of suffering down here that was unique to this area with toads, right?
I can't.
Kind of emanating from further. Yeah, it was definitely wafting through.
But
Okay.
I don't know
But
if it's worth it.
I
In
meant
the
more like a
direction of
guidance
the
or
actual
something.
spawn.
Thank you.
But from beyond.
So
You know.
past where we had seen the
Yeah, it's getting
goblins.
stronger as you approach the spawning pool.
Tonki got a natural 20 on her stealth check.
Hell yeah.
Oh, shit. It's with disadvantage. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
shit.
I was like,
Tonki
wow.
got a
It's 1
4.
414.
Okay,
Damn.
not bad. Nora,
Yeah.
what'd you roll?
I should have used my portent. That was a 4.
Okay, Ralph.
I also rolled a 14 for a total of 13.
Damn.
We love that. All right.
Thinking clacks are
Grimgod?
still here than me.
For the record, I think that's a terrible idea. 11.
Believe it or not, that brings the average up.
Ha!
And 13.
13 also brings the average
Wait,
up.
are we the stealthiest ones in the armor with disadvantage?
We were
Wait, what'd you get?
Nora's just
Amazing.
out
What'd
here
you
like
end up
trying
getting
to
with
like
your,
14.
Oh, nice. 13, 13, 14. Okay, average is slightly above 10.
You don't hear any frog sounds in here. You can see that there are these large sort of like spaces. In fact, let me bring out a visual perspective.
Damn.
Yeah. Joe is ready for us to fuck this up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, statistically we were doomed.
Yeah, but I really doomed us. I brought everybody's down.
Well, I get the sense
power.
that
That's the numbies.
Some nummies.
None of us are good at stealth.
whatever's
I could've
going
foreseen
on
a better
here
future.
is in some way unnatural.
Oh, watch out, watch out.
See, I'm a vague seer. I see things ish.
This would count as ranching, right?
This is more animal husbandry.
Did you say ranching?
Yeah.
Frog rancher.
It's a toad rancher, thank you very much.
Are these
Frog rancher's my uncle.
My brain immediately went, Sir Frog Rancher. I know that's not the correct path.
That's Sir Frog Rancher to you.
So you're all kind of over here.
Benighted.
We've got my goblins out here. And these goblins are all relatively the same looking.
Hey.
Sorry. Hate to be that guy.
Is he fallen over on purpose?
No, he just is not balanced well.
He's just taking a nap.
Where are we coming from? Here?
From Joe's angle. Yeah.
Yeah, from right there.
You know how you have like
Here is that toad that you
northward,
had seen previously.
Joe-ward?
Yeah.
Joe word ho!
So I'll bring up
Are
a
you
little
always
encounter
north?
map here.
'Cause I feel
No,
like
no,
that's
no,
off-
no, no,
okay,
no.
alright.
Sorry,
No.
sorry. North is that direction
Yeah.
from me always.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am always south in my brain.
Oh,
when I
this
set
is
these
always
up.
north.
This is always
Now,
right.
I will say,
That's helpful.
roughly 50% of the time, I put it reverse. And so in my I build it always to be north that way. I don't always put it down on the table like that because I'm a human. So you can see this encounter map potentially in front of you. You can see that the walls of the cavern kind of go out and kind of drop away into the Underdark off into the west and the east. To the north, you can see the path kind of diverges into two very distinct pathways. One to the left, one to the right. The one to the left, you can see it evens out a little bit, and you can see there's like at the very edge of that, where there's kind of like a little tiny spawning pool in the left corner of that map, there is the beginnings of like rushes that have been thrown down on the ground to create more of an even, clean floor. The pathway on the right is across that spawning pool where stones kind of lead to a slightly flatter area. And that is like a sort of downward sloping tunnel. You can see it's sized for maybe medium or large creatures. The walls and floors in that corner kind of begin to radically move down in like a spiral. And you can see in that corner there are elements of the same sort of jasper stone that would indicate parts of an Obra ruin. And as you sort of sneak into this space, you are not terribly quiet, but as you can hear little conversations, little bits of goblin kind of speaking to each other. It has been close to 11 and a half hours since you left here. They are not quite as on guard as they were before. Now people kind of chatting to each other. Some of these goblins have been called together from like other places in the basin. And so like now many of these goblins kind of seeing each other for the first time in maybe a couple days or weeks. And so like they're like chatting and talking and they're doing a patrol, but it's very much like they're not expecting to find you. And for that reason alone, you have not been spotted yet.
Sweet.
But it's close. And so seeing this in front of you, you don't get to just walk across. How are you making your way through?
Okay. So since I'm assuming this is representative of the current situation, is this actual Toad or is this Toad Druid?
Make a nature check.
You can also
Dang.
ask Bubbles.
Nature, huh?
Oh my
Can I
god.
19.
Damn.
That's no toad. That is a goblin toad speaker who has transformed themselves into a frog-like form. In that moment, too, as you realize this, you can see for a second they kind of rear up on these two frog legs, standing very humanoid, broad shape, no butt, just kind of standing up. And you can see they just look around, almost like a prairie dog before right back down.
The absence of butt is truly the most disturbing thing.
Yeah. I think when Ralph sees like them, Ralph is like suspiciously staring at them, and as soon as they start praying, she just slaps whoever's next to her and goes like, ow, ow.
Yeah. You all look up at this very peculiar frog.
Thinking back, there aren't any actual toads here, only the eggs.
As far as you can tell.
So I know like what we see is what we get.
Yep.
You said there were 3 paths?
Two paths.
Two paths.
One to the left, one to the
This
right.
one and that one.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. And that's the one that's closer to like the bronzy like Opera City ruin style.
Yep.
Okay.
Almost like orange, like a jasper-like stone.
Are there any distinctions between the two like types of eggs that are there, or does it seem like
You would need to get far closer to be able to tell.
Are they carrying eggs around?
No, the eggs seem to all be confined to the pools. You can see the goblins give the pools like relatively wide berths typically, especially the ones who are kind of searching in parties. One thing to note here is there is no real source of light save the faint bioluminescence coming off of these eggs. Goblins can see in the dark, and so not really needing a tremendous amount of light here. Yeah.
When we were here before, correct me if I'm wrong, you said the goblins were carrying eggs, like transporting them?
You may have seen one or two kind of moving them from pool to pool. At the moment, they're all in the pools.
Okay, they weren't moving them out of this room. They were
No.
just- okay, never mind.
What if we give them some of the sweet cane that we got?
We don't have any. We didn't end up getting any because the spirit said, I won't give you the sweet cane
Oh,
unless you do the
right.
thing.
Well, never mind then. What?
Yeah, that's what they want, and that's what we decided not to do.
Oh my god. We have the rum. No, as we do have a bunch of rum. We can just get them blasted and just go. Maybe we.
Right, that's
Does
Bad
it
idea.
seem like if I presented bubbles, that would be enough for them to be like, "Oh, you got one of our toads. We're clearly you were like working with us."
I would say for free, no. But I
Too of a toad speaker!
But what I will say
Technically he is.
from that is you might be able to get away with like them not attacking immediately. That would certainly draw like a reaction from them.
Okay. That's just good to know.
All right. Alana votes we just try to make our way through, but I don't know if we should go this way. Seems like it is the more challenging way due to the fact that there's probably going to be more ruins over here and we don't solve puzzles quickly versus the way that is just seemingly down where I would assume if big path, big toad.
If big path, big toad. I like that.
Mom toad.
That's Alana's take on the current situation.
I agree. There's probably less places to raise the toads down there.
This feels more like a farm and less like spawning pools.
You still need a mother to birth the eggs, though. You don't just... I mean, again, unless... And Nora, like, kind of points at the druid. Unless...
We've been down this path.
Damn, how crazy would it be if the goblins discovered that they could just wild shape and have frog sex and create... That's how they create...
They pulled a Loki!
That's crazy.
Listen.
I love that.
That's how Plumbeer was created!
I'm going to go ahead and for free tell you that's not what's happening
Nora
here,
insists it is.
That's so cool.
The
I
side
love
conversation earlier was just Ralph and Nora arguing about this.
that. Man, I couldn't in a million years think of something that fucked up, but I really like that.
Old Norse gods, man.
Yeah.
The Greeks also thought of it.
But no, what you are looking at seem to be natural eggs of giant toads that kind of spot the space. They are not, to your point, Thule, this doesn't feel like a natural spawning point. The word farm comes up, and when you look down that path with like the rushes, it seems like very much like a almost domesticated space. But what Nora says is true also. You can't have eggs without something that produces them.
Once again, I vote to sneak towards this zone, and if we get caught, present bubbles and maybe convince them that we're just trying to deliver a whole bunch of rum.
I feel like, while I agree, if we get caught, then it's already suspicious. If we are gonna get caught, we might as well just go and talk to them with bubbles right away.
Or with the rum. Or both. We bring rum and bubbles.
All right.
We agree with Thule that best to rip Band-Aid, walk forward, have someone do talking who isn't Tonky. Me think that could plan.
So, clarify. Sneaking, vote. Not sneaking, vote.
Grimmy, you
What is your
abstain?
secret third option?
Yeah, that's not
me
a
where
mistake
to
because I
do.
saw that Ralph voted twice.
It was a representation of what are we doing? Something red hand to vote.
It's a representation of the scales of the vote.
This is not the time.
Justice is impartial.
This is not the
Oh, I vote we leave, so I'll just do whatever you guys want.
Why
That's
you want to
also
leave?
Because I don't see any way this ending without the death of the Meyer Claw Pact.
I kind of agree with him. Which is one kind of rare situation
Well-
that Grim and I are on the exact same page.
Didn't we just go through a
pinch
temple
you, like,
about unexpected
Ralph?
paths?
Yes.
So maybe you just need to be brave.
As you discuss this in this space, kind of whispering in the dark, earning that stealth check average of 12,
Yep.
you are aware of the fact that you're probably drawing some attention.
Yep.
And sure enough, as you're having this conversation, you are suddenly aware of the fact that within the stones here, little green ears have kind of begun to poke up and manifest. You are... let me change this encounter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do it.
I slapped Thule in the back. Go get him.
Julie doesn't speak goblin.
We can translate.
Oh, well, I don't know. It's been more than 8 hours. I had comprehend languages up from.
Well,
When
you
did you
could
have it up?
understand them.
It's gone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you...
I didn't recast it.
You didn't recast it?
No.
Comprehend languages meant that they could you could understand them. They still could.
I did it
understand
on the last ritual, the last rest that
Yeah.
we took, the last short rest.
So here now, you are aware of a number of goblins that have like slowly begun to creep up around you. Not terribly high on their stealth checks either. You're just waving at them.
you. I mean, they've seen
Well,
us.
I would pull out Bubbles and be like, Bubbles, I think you and I are going to need to have a word with the other guy over there.
So as Nora waves, you can hear the sound of these tiny bows draw back. They're about to attack, and then Tula, you hold up this frog. And you can hear, for those of you who speak Goblin, one of the goblins just go, "Pick nose, toe cutter! Bows down." And you can see the bows kind of lower slightly. He looks over at you.
Malcringe sent us.
And in kind of like a broken common, they just say, "Oh?"
Malcringe. And the toads. This is Bubbles.
You can see they look at you, they look at the toad. They also have their bow kind of like drawn, but currently pointed at the ground. There is just general confusion happening right here. And that's better than being attacked.
Is this a good time to mention the rum?
They look at you, and again, in common, they say, "What want?"
Well, we came here because we were told to go to the Sweet Bog to help your clan. And so we went there, and then we met someone who told us that you can't really go back there because it's dangerous, and also it's causing problems. So instead, we came here to try and bargain with you to let the toads go for the basin.
Make
Nora-
a diplomacy check. A disadvantage.
Nora leans
Oh,
over
and
and
we
is just
brought
like,
rum.
equitable toad solution.
Oh, equitable toad solution. And then I would also be like, get me one of the bottles.
It's a barrel.
The
We need-
Barrel?
Oh, from the bag of rum. Just show it. And we have rum.
You can, as that goes up, you can hear from around this group 3 or 4 of them just go, "Ooh." But they slap at the hands behind them. They still have this bow kind of like in their hand, not drawn any longer. But they peer at you. Make a persuasion check and make it at advantage.
Rum.
Hell yeah, natural 20.
Yeah, there's her face.
We might get out of this yet, guys.
The toad
They
goblin
look at
speaker.
you. They look around, and in Goblin, you hear them turn, and they say, "Hey, Scabby Eyes, go get Dr. Goodberries. I can't understand a thing they're saying, but they've got rum. We should hear them out." And you can see this one goblin, his eyes red and like really crusty looking. He's like wiping at them constantly. He goes, "Oh yeah," and he runs off and into the cavern. You see him go down the left path.
Is this toad here with us, talking to us, or is he still up here?
No,
toading?
but they're watching now, and the rest of the goblins in this cavern have kind of formed a secondary line, using them as sort of the center point. This toad, though, now standing up on 2 legs. They're watching you, certainly. But that is not Dr. Goodberries, as Scabby Eyes makes their way further back and past. And before too long, as that's happening, though, I think this goblin would kind of put their bow down. They do draw out a spear, kind of still pointing it at you. They get closer, and they reach for this rum. Do you give it to them?
I look at Tuli.
Oh, well, it's kind of our bargaining chip. I think we should maybe just a taste.
The goblin looking at you, in Goblin to you, says, "In the name of Jasper the Red, hand it over."
Do I know who Jasper the Red is?
Make a history check at disadvantage.
Can I make one too? Because I live with
You
goblins.
can at disadvantage.
Oh my god. That's cool. I didn't want to know anyways. Natural 1.
There you go.
That didn't sound
All right.
like
You've
Grim
seen
Gob. Fuck
all
that guy.
around this place red and orange jasper stone, and so they're probably talking about the very foundations of this building. Would love to have rum.
Okay, I say,
No, I was under like, just do we have cups?
Tonky has her big like Tonky mug. She'll pull it out and be like,
I might actually go over and will.
Also, if we
Do you give
actually,
it to them?
if everyone
not the
gets
entire-
drunk, we could just
rum, but I will
pop the butt.
pop it and like pour a
They
little
Pop that
bit.
bong.
raise the spear at you, and they say, "No, it's for Jasper. He decides."
I put it back in the bag. I said, "No, you will wait for Mr. Goodberry."
Please, Mr. Goodberry.
Dr. Goodberry. Put some respect on his name. He didn't go to 4 years of Goodberry College.
He smiles and he says, "Careful what you wish for." And in that moment, you can see Dr. Goodberry is approaching. He is relatively normal sized for a goblin. You can see he is wearing this kind of almost like a butcher's smock that is blood-stained over patchwork armor. Their skin stained a even more like alchemical shade of green from a variety of different things all over their arms and their mouth. They have a necklace that hangs around, and as they get closer, you can see tiny little bits of preserved meat around them. He wears this single bloodstained glove that holds a bone saw in it. And you can see what looks like a iron handle of something long and wicked looking hanging on his back. But Dr. Goodberry comes up to all of you. I would say the other goblin points to you and says, "He won't give it to us." And Dr. Goodberry approaches you. You can see this is a goblin probably about the same age as you, probably about the same height as you. Are you saying anything to them as they approach you?
I look at Thule.
Is anyone paying me and Bubbles any heed in this moment?
All of the attention has gone straight to this alcohol.
Our toad speaker has something to say to you.
Oh.
And I look at Thule.
Dr. Goodberry looks at Bubbles, and you can see their eyes narrow. They look over at you, and they say, 1 million toads we have here. I could crush that one beneath my boot and get another in an instant. I care not for your toads or your purported toad speaker. I want the alcohol.
He said that in Goblin?
In common.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Good, I don't have to translate.
Yeah.
We're actually here,
Ha! He holds a little hand up to you, and you can see like this long, dirty, jagged nail. Let your betters finish. I've work to do, and toads to cut into.
Oh, well, actually.
Give me the rum, and you can meet your fate at Jasper's hand instead.
So, actually...
I told you.
I put a hand on Thule. Wait.
You can see he takes one hand and he draws this metal stick from behind him, and what comes out is not a spear or a sword, it is a branding iron.
Oh.
Currently cool. But you can see these little goblin glyphs along it, you imagine, not always.
Who is Jasper the Red? Is he a leader?
He sneers at you, and he says, "For now. But he is strong enough to stay a leader for some time, I think.
And if we give you
the alcohol.
And you'll take us to him?
No, but you can go see him. If you can make it past the Red Guard, that is. And you won't, but you can try."
We should probably give the rum to Jasper, shouldn't we? If he's your leader.
Jasper will explode it. Always on fire, Jasper is.
Oh, he likes fire.
But I have need of it. Do you know how many frogs have died? Because I have not the right reagents. Injected into the frogs with the correct dosage, I'm sure they'll stop exploding.
What?
That was... Sorry, in my head I'm like, we need to sterilize things.
No.
Did not go that route.
You're looking at this dude
okay.
encrusted
Right.
with blood. He has... Now I would say you're close enough to him to recognize this chain of meat. This is not meat. These are little petrified frog hearts that are kind of like a necklace around.
I'll look at the others around me. Do you want me to make the choice?
I
have opinions.
Now is the time to
You
share
can't
opinions.
do what you're doing to the frogs anymore because they don't like it, and that's very rude. And also, Mythalstrean is mad at you.
There it is.
God is mad at you.
He looks at you and he says, "I had told you to be quiet. And for your companions, I gave you a second chance.
I was giving you some
Let
chances.
us remove your tongue and see
Oh.
if you speak so wisely. Fetch Nurse Tadpole! Okay, as he screams to fetch Nurse Tadpole and as you cast Phantasmal Force, things slow down. You are on the precipice of initiative. And because it is so late at night, at 10:15, this is where we're going to end for the evening. When we start off, you can get that off as a surprise attack, and then we will roll for initiative as you engage in combat with Dr. Goodberries, Nurse Tadpole, Nurse Stitches, Nurse Leech, and Nurse Bones, and the goblins guarding the spawning pools. Not the outcome that I had imagined, but definitely a good one. Thank you for joining us for this session of A Tale of 12 Gems. We will be back next week. But if you can't wait that long, join us for the replaying of this and our Starfinder adventure on Sunday at Alberon RPG on YouTube. But whatever you do, please stay safe. It is wild out there. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.